Welcome and good evening, everyone, as we are here tonight for the match of the week, probably of the season. Would you say, Elsa? We got Goldfish Gaming versus Horizon Gaming, and this is gonna be a hell of a series. First seed, or not first seed, first place versus second place. I'm excited for this. What about you?
I'm super excited or acted. We got the Clash of the Titans tonight with Goldfish Gaming still coming in undefeated. Last week we saw them on the mainstream taking on PGO, and
Mhm.
they were able to take them down in an easy 2-0. So excited to see if Horizon can, give them a little bit of a run for their money here tonight. Now, redacted last week for you and me, we had the privilege of casting Horizon taking on Sensei Squad, and I know that it was pretty unexpected what happened. Definitely had some, interesting twists and turns throughout the way, but at the end of the day, ended up being a 2-0 for Sensei, which is, something that I don't think either of us predicted.
Not at all. It was quite the shock indeed. And once again, sure, it's for those who probably watched the game, you could, if you want to put an asterisk on the game and say, oh, Sensei won game one because Gregorio wasn't there, their jungler. Or, I mean, he was, but I believe he had some personal internet issues. I'm not sure entirely, but he had to be subbed out for game one, and then they lost game one. But game two, Gregorio was there. Horizon Gaming had their full roster, and they still lost to Sensei Squad. So that game, that series, and honestly was just really shocking for all involved. Probably not Sensei Squad, they had the confidence they were gonna win. But for everyone else, it was not expected. And we thought we were gonna get two undefeated teams coming into this week here, but now, Horizon have that little blurb on their win-loss record there. But I mean, it's still a hype matchup. I'm still excited because now for Horizon, actually, Gregorio is not starting in tonight's matchup. It's actually Adapt. So I'll be very curious and wonder how Horizon's going to play this out with this new jungler.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. You absolutely said it. Redacted. So Gregorio's out this week. We didn't really get very many specifics from Horizon about that. Bravo said that the statement for the team would be this series itself. So really tried to come out with their own confidence and. To look at it from a more positive perspective from for Horizon, they have this setback losing to Sensei last week, but what better way to be able to turn things around than to beat the undefeated team that's at the top of the conference, right? If they can come back and be strong and take this series, then I think it really makes a statement that they're able to come back from adversity. And really, to me, that's what makes the difference between a good team and a great team. Good teams will be able to roll over opponents who are not as skilled as them, but a truly great team will be able to get back up when they stumble. And I'm hoping that's what we can see from Horizon Gaming tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. You said it. I couldn't have said it better myself, Elsa, because like with that loss to Sensei Squad, I'm sure there are now some whispers throughout the Thursday league here, like, oh, is Horizon really that good of a team? If they lost
Right.
to a middle of the pack team, they should have beat. So honestly, Horizon really need this series wins just as much as Goldfish also probably need this series win as well to establish their dominance and that they are the best team in the Thursday league. Because I have heard here and there from some other players across other teams that Goldfish, while they are good and they've won every series 2-0, some people still give them doubt. Some people still cast a shadow of doubt against them, like, oh, are they really the best team? Like, we'll see about that. So
Yeah.
this will, I mean, depending, and I was looking at some of the match history notes and whatnot, and Goldfish have won every series 2-0. So, I'm very curious to see how this series will go. Are we going to go to game three? Is it going to be a 2-0 in favor of Goldfish? Maybe Horizon gets the 2-0. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm very excited for this matchup here.
Yeah, and I think you make up a great point about will it kind of go to 3 games because with Goldfish just being used to for these last 5 weeks in a row, only playing these 2 game series, I think it would really throw them for a loop if they have a loss. The way that they play and specifically the way that they draft is extremely formulaic. They have that tank in the top lane, that's that safe bot lane, and then sort of that mid jungle able to work together, get priority in in that mid lane for Okami, and then using that to invade the enemy jungle. Once that's kind of been cracked by another team, which is certainly something that Horizon could do tonight, I want to see that how Goldfish will be able to adapt and sort of overcome, because thus far they just haven't really been challenged in the style that they've come out and played here in the CCS Thursday conference. And beyond that, Redacted, I agree that, for whatever reason, there continues to sort of be these talks or these things swirling around about Goldfish, oh, they're a meme, should they really be taken this seriously? And I know that last week after the win against PGO, Mossy was interviewed, and he put out a pretty strong statement of, what more do you kind of want from us at this point? We haven't lost, so they just really have not showed very much weakness.
No, absolutely, indeed. And you said it really well. At this point, I think once this series has concluded, depending, and if Goldfish 2-0 Horizon, I think that leaves no more room for any other team to really try and discredit them, and and just talk shit about them. Really, like, I'm gonna just come out and say that there's no more room to talk shit about Goldfish. It's Goldfish 2-0 them. Like
Redacted.
they what's up?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I did just want to note that taking a look at the stream here, it looks like maybe there might have been an issue with our draft link here. Because the draft has already gone through, so we are now into the client draft, which that's okay. That's okay,
I was
so
wondering what
talk about these picks. We're just here, just bantering on and on. I'm like, when is this draft gonna start? But the draft already happened, so we can talk a little bit about that. First of all, looking at the bans here, pretty interesting to see what Goldfish took off the table. The Jinx has been a staple for Desirus, but then the Vex and the Kale, pretty interesting. I was sort of curious about
Kale though.
Yeah, I'm curious. I was curious about what they would want to take away from Archon, the top laner, for Horizon Gaming, because he does play a good number of these sort of tank busting top laners. Fiora is another one of them as well. Doesn't look like that one ended up being taken away. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts about the bans, but we got a lot of other picks to talk about too. And I see one in particular there, Redacted, that you were pretty excited to see last week.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cho'Gath, my boy. Honestly, this is like slanderous. So to the chat at home and Elsa too, I don't know how you're gonna react either, but I like tank meta. I love tank meta in season 5. I loved it. As an ADC main, I loved it. Like, go ahead, let my beefy boys just go ahead and stand in front of me, soak up all that damage while I go ahead and just, do all the damage from the back line and whatnot, bob and weave in and out of the enemy team while I shred them to bits and pieces. So we're kind of seeing a little bit of tank meta here. We got Cho'Gath, we got Poppy, we got the Trundle. Hecarim we know can go either way. So I'm very excited, but at the same time it will probably be a little bit boring in the top lane, but that's fine, because I'm sure most of the action that we want to see is going to come from mid and the bot lane anyway.
Yeah, and just sort of looking at what Goldfish was able to put together here. I spoke a little bit earlier about how, they have this really consistent approach to the draft. And once again, they seem to have just kind of checked every single one of those boxes. They first picked the Thresh, the most played by Lights Genesis by far, with that, roaming style, able to help out Mossy to be able to get those picks, but also keep Dirt alive in the lane phase. They got the safe bot laner in the Ezreal. We saw Dirt actually having probably his best performance of the split last week against PGO on this pick. And then they got their tank top laner in the Poppy, and beyond that, they picked up the Trundle and the Ahri, which is definitely going to be a really strong mid jungle duo. So, Goldfish really getting what they want here, but that seems to be consistent. What I want to see Horizon be able to do is, punish Goldfish even when they get all of the things that, they need to succeed.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, because we did not get to see draft in real time, looking at these picks now is just very interesting to me, because I want to point out that they've put Kaiser Uwu on the Karma. So I wonder if this is a supportive Karma or if this will be more of an AP burst mage Karma. I feel like I personally would like to see more of the damage, or maybe a hybrid mix coming out from Kaiser, because he can play both the carry and the supportive champions. But right now, they have Cho'Gath for AP, but he's gonna build more tanky stats. So I guess actually, you know what? Disregard all that. I forgot. Kaiser's building Ludens now, so you know what? They got enough AP actually. So
The
that'll
whole
probably be
world's turned upside down.
yeah. I forgot Kaiser is a Ludens champion now. So yeah, just discard all that I said before. Kaiser, we're probably gonna see him on the supportive Karma pick with the Renata also being a support. This what I'm seeing from Horizon is they want to play through the series and they want to accelerate this Kai'Sa so far ahead. Basically, just another Jinx, you know.
Yeah.
Support the Jinx, but it's Kai'Sa.
And the Jinx banned out in this one, the Zeri as well. But this hyper carry meta that we've been in for a while is definitely alive and well. And sort of after this round of nerfs that we saw to Zeri and Jinx, again, still getting banned out. But Kai'Sa has kind of emerged as the next one after that. So teams really starting to
And Cold
prioritize that.
Kai'Sa too, to be specific,
Yep,
because
yep,
I mean,
absolutely. Kind of that yeah, that AP build, like you mentioned, and something that I am really a fan of right now with teams is
same.
drafting for a lot of peel, a lot of disengage, and a lot of ability to kite. Because right now we exist in this meta where there's champion bounties, there's these turret bounties, these objective bounties. It allows teams to come back a lot better. So having that late game insurance policy in the Kai'Sa, but then also the Karma and the Renata to sort of get you out of those sticky situations before you're able to reach that 3-item point where Kai'Sa really excels, is going to be really strong for Horizon, whether or not they're able to get ahead in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the Ezreal pick there, that just tells me Goldfish want to play a bit safe. We'll probably see the Thresh roam with this Ari Trundle combo here to cause some chaos across the map. But we'll have to find out here shortly as we load into game one. So we're gonna take a short break, but we'll be right back.
Everybody panic! Hold on! I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser, always ready to cry. Da-da-da-da. Aw, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Alrighty, we are here for game one of Goldfish Gaming versus Horizon Gaming, and looks like Elsa, we already got some pesky shenanigans going on here.
Yeah, we got Goldfish coming in here, forcing some vision. Looks like Kaiser was there to spot them out, though. So we are going to see a ward going onto the Raptor pit. So we'll be able to inform Mossy. But
Uh-oh.
now Adapt coming in on the other side and trading that vision. So some good communication there coming through from Horizon, just to be able to make sure that they're able to track both of the junglers. And now, with that said, I want to talk a little bit about Adapt. We already mentioned how Gregorio not playing this week. We don't have very much further information about that, but we have Adapt. Last week, filling in last second, we had Perky the Parrot, who, while he did a fine job, actually, he was an AD carry main, not a jungler main. Now they do have Adapt this week. He does main the jungle role. Looks like he's heavily a Viego player as well as Diana, but does have games on Hecarim as well. Obviously, Hecarim, one of the more meta champions. So, as both teams start out here with their jungle clear, they are going to spot out the ward on Mossy's red buff. A little bit unfortunate that they weren't able to clear it out earlier, but they will stop that one, so they at least will not know where Mossy proceeds after he murders this red buff.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about any of the runes as well that we see on the champions. I see it's the Arion Kaiser, so does that also indicate kind of what I said earlier, that he might be going the more supportive Karma build here?
Yeah, so, actually, I can't remember who it was against specifically, but earlier in the season when I casted Horizon, I got the opportunity after the game to interview Kaiser, and he did play Karma in that series as well. And he talked about just how strong he does think that this pick is, not only in competitive, but actually also in solo queue. And he does tend to take the approach of having that ultra supportive build. I think last time he went the Moonstone Renewer into Redemption, I believe it actually was. So we'll see if he goes something similar like that. Kind of interesting to see him picking up the Ignite, as that really aggressive summoner spell with a champion in Karma that's not necessarily so aggressive. But I think that it helps out a lot in that 2v2, specifically against Trundle, who is definitely always going to have that big amount of healing coming out with the Subjugate. So I'm really excited. I loved seeing Kaiser play this pick before because it really wasn't something that I was very aware of. And I think it makes a lot of sense against Okami too, who has really had a lane kingdom so far in CCS Thursday.
Oh, well, hold that thought, though. We see Peanut getting the engage onto Archon here. Gets the slow flash coming out from Mossy, flash from Archon, and he will live with his life. No first blood yet for either side. So, Elsa, I did want to ask you before we saw that little skirmish in the top lane there. I personally, I haven't casted a lot of Goldfish, so what can you tell me about Goldfish as a squad, and what do you think we're going to see coming out from them in this game here with these champions they have?
Yeah, so I mean, mostly we see Goldfish just being like an incredibly sort of one of his stable team, is what I would say. Especially with thinking about the top lane and the bot lane, Lights, Genesis, and Dirt. They really just sit here. They do their job. Dirt, while he hasn't been the star for this team, he's been an incredible role player for them, just allowing them to play weak side bot in basically every single matchup. And they don't need to place their focus there, which also allows a lot of roaming from Lights, Genesis. And on the other side of the map here, as we look at Peanut taking this trade, Peanut has been just a crucial addition to this team. In this split, he plays exclusively these tank sort of champions. He is a Mundo one trick in solo queue, but always denied that, of course, in competitive play. But he's shown the ability to play other picks as well. And him too, just as he gets pretty low here, but pretty really stable player. Is able to just kind of transition that tank into the team fights where they do so well. So, I mentioned it in the champ select, but Goldfish really getting all of those pieces for themselves. And I'm excited to see, if they can make it work against who many have regarded as the best team in CCS Thursday.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm very excited to see this matchup play out here, and wondering, I'm ready to finally get this series underway. It's been talked about for so long, and it's just going to be really exciting. But right now, it's just pretty lull and dull, actually. But I feel like that's a little bit expected because both of these teams want to ensure that they farm up and get their champions to their appropriate power spikes. As we see Adapt here just clean out the ward, so the bot lane of Goldfish are just going to back. Well, they were backing anyway, but now they know where that jungler is, so they're aware, and they probably pinged it out to let them know, hey, Hecarim is on the blue side of the map, so just FYI. So that ensures that Akami's going to be a bit careful, but he can still play a little bit aggressive here as he knows where the Hecarim is currently.
He said, and I mean, look at that damage coming out from the Karma. And interestingly enough, I talked for a long time about the build that Kaiser went, sort of that defensive build last time, but it will be the Fiendish Codex as the first pickup. Doesn't preclude him from having a defensive build in some right, but not going to be building into that Moonstone that he did prioritize.
Oh, that thought though, we get the Flash Flake out from Light Genesis, hook misses, Ignite comes down as well. Akami almost dies from the Ignite Q there, but will get out with his life. And once again, still no first blood for either side, but lots of summoners blown. Somebody is going down soon, and it's gonna be something.
Yeah, and this is just really illustrates well why I love this Karma pick again from Horizon, because you're never going to win lane against Okami. His mechanics are really good. His knowledge of matchups is also really strong. So I think for Kaiser to, try to go for that strong 1v1 is never going to work, but Peanut up 2 levels.
Peanut there using the W there to just block out the Hecarim charge, and the ultimate knocks away the Hecarim and the Cho'Gath, gets out with his life, but some Flash is blown, so he's going to be very vulnerable as well. So let's just keep our eye on this top laner here and how he's going to play out the rest of his lane, because his lane is not in the best position right now.
Yeah, so and it looks like maybe Adapt is going to try to get back up there again, so I think action's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Around the corner, Pharaoh screen coming out from Archon here. Peanut using the slow, trying to secure the kill onto the top laner. The Rupture will miss, but Adapt is here, gets the charge onto Peanut, and it looks like that kill is going to be gifted over to the Horizon jungler there. But the Goldfish squad get the Drake in return, so one kill for one neutral objective so far.
Yeah, so that will be a pretty even trade overall. But with that being said, though, I think that was something that Peanut opted into that he certainly did not need to. And, thinking about Goldfish, I did praise Peanut for being a very stable player. He does play very consistently, but, he does have kind of this interesting habit of these sort of random deaths, usually to ganks, that could be prevented with a little bit more map awareness. But bot lane...
got the hook, a Killer Instinct coming out from Desirius here, gets the kill with the Void Seeker. Light Genesis running for his life, but Mossy is here to back up his support. Desirius looking for that kill onto the Thresh, trying to get those plaques. Hostile takeover coming out to interrupt the Trundle. Flashes over the wall there. Wants to get this kill onto the Kai'Sa. Will he be able to secure 2 tower shots? 3 tower shots. He's running for his life. Hook coming out. He gets out. He makes it. He lives. Goldfish Gaming are on the board with the kill of their own. 1 for 1.
And that just looks so greedy from Mossy at first, but the Lantern coming through at the last second from Light's Genesis, in addition to the healing, after he's able to pick up the kill, and he survives. So will be an even trade, which kind of benefit, I would argue that it benefits actually the side of Horizon a little better.
Got ourselves another fight here as Peanut gets Adapt uses the fear onto Peanut here, and holy crap, it's just blown up by the Cho'Gath, the Rupture ultimate there, Feast, and the top laner of Horizon now with a 1-0-1 score line.
Yeah, and this is not a matchup that I necessarily can say I have a huge amount of knowledge of with the Cho'Gath versus the Poppy, but I would imagine.
I think we're gonna have some more action here as Mossy using the pillar there onto Kaiser Uwu to delay his escape, and they will just clean up that kill quite easily for Okami here. Oh, no, it went to Mossy, actually. My fault.
Yeah, and it looks like during that time, Adapt was able to secure the Rift Herald. So once again, going to be a kill traded over for an objective. But, kind of going back to this 2v2 kill that was able to be picked up by Horizon, part of what has been so critical for Goldfish Gaming has been, their bot lane just being able to either win or at the very least go even in these 2v2s. So, with Desra sort of forcing the issue there on the Kaisa alongside, Bravo.
Oh, flash charm from Okami here. Adapt running for his life. Is he gonna get out? Peanut using the ultimate to secure the kill. Tell me that's not quite often you see Poppy getting a kill with her ultimate there, as it's typically used to send someone off to Narnia.
Yeah, definitely. It's risky, right, to use it because if if they have any health left, you're definitely not going to be finishing that one. But was ticking down super, super low there. So Peanut feeling confident to pick that one up. And I like Goldfish kind of getting back on, the aggressive moves there going into the jungle of Adapt, which is something that they've been doing all year long. So looking at the kill distribution so far here for Goldfish Gaming, it is going to be Mossy picking up the vast majority of the resources. And that has been sort of popular for Goldfish Gaming so far. Mossy definitely a strong carry jungler, but top lane, he's just beating on him.
Yeah, like I said earlier that top lane was going to be boring, but I think this is where we've been getting the most action so far, which is actually really surprising. But you know what? Peanut, I think, should try to win that matchup early as much as he can, because this Cho'Gath will scale, and he's going to become quite a big boy eventually. And I don't think Peanut will be able to handle Cho'Gath one-on-one in the later stages of this game.
Yeah, like as we were starting to say earlier, this is not. I'm by no means an expert on this matchup, but I would imagine that once the Cho'Gath is able to start picking up enough health, it's going to be difficult for Peanut to be able to lay down substantial damage on him, or at least damage that's going to stick with the healing that this Cho'Gath does provide. So makes sense that he would want to go a little bit more aggressive early game. But with that being said, he has been punished for that so far during this game. So right now, though, we do see that the dragon is going to spawn in just about 13 seconds. So we are seeing both teams posturing around that. But the observer is just really focused on this top lane here because of the amount of trading going on.
Seriously, but I think we're about to get some action in this Drake, in this Rift here, as the Hex Drake is up and active, and we see Light Genesis and Okami Hayazo both posturing around this Drake here, but Horizon do not want to give this up without a fight. They're clearing out the wards, getting their vision in, but Goldfish Gaming are already on this Drake, and it looks like it's just going to be secure, but I don't think Horizon cared, as they just wanted to fight. Hostile takeover misses, Adapt goes in, Killer Instinct coming out from the Kaiser there, trying to secure this kill onto the Trundle jungle. Whoa! The Q from the Karma just blows him up, and Kaiser cleans up the kill. 2-0. Or not, I'm sorry, 2 double kill for the Kaiser here, and 3 kills for the side of Horizon Gaming.
Yeah, and this is a tough situation as Peanut is going to get Archon pretty low. But look at that. Archon already doing so much damage that Peanut has to respect the fact that the Devour is still available. And now not only is it those kills picked up for Horizon into the bot lane, but they're also able to drop the Rift Herald, gonna get a charge, and crucially getting a lot of this gold onto Desirus. He is that late game hyper scaling potential, sitting at 3-1 so far, has some of the materials picked up for, it looks like a potential collector. So, probably going for more of a hybrid build in this circumstance. And, toggling over to the gold, it is 1,400 in the advantage of the Kaisa so far. So, Kaisa already hurting right now, and it's only going to get worse for Goldfish.
We got some danger pings coming out here, though, as Peanut and Mozzie are going to take down the Archon, and his kingdom remains no longer. And Peanut now evening out that KDA line there, 2-2-0. So pretty good on this. This top lane matchup has actually been more aggressive than I thought it would be. Adapt here. Oh no, it's the steadfast presence blocks his charge from escaping, but it looks like he's gonna be able to get out, and unfortunately I think his red blood is gonna be like charm comes out from Okami though. Oh, and he almost kills him, barely lives with like a sliver of health. Hold on, I have to check and see how much health he gets out with. About 87 health there. Oh my goodness. But nobody died.
But crucially, Desirous was left on his own there in the bottom lane. Most of the turret plating had already been picked up, but he is able to pick up that first turret bounty, which is going to be huge again for this Kai'Sa, already having completed one item in the Kraken Slayer. And, like I said before, has picked up that serrated dirk, so likely to be a collector next. And this Kai'Sa already going to be online super duper early. 2 items going to come in before 20 minutes. And it's going to be now, this is that situation for Goldfish, who have been ahead all split long, pretty much, having to come back from behind.
We don't get poke Kai'Sa this game, which is kind of fair, though, with the Thresh, Trundle, Poppy. It doesn't make sense to build Kraken, but I'm a bit sad, but I understand.
Yeah, definitely needs a little bit more of that shred to get through the Poppy, and then also the Trundle, especially when he pops the Subjugate, is very tanky. On that champion, so makes sense. But yes, I do love seeing those W's flying out, sniping people.
Yeah.
So sad not to see that, but
maybe we'll get a Nashor's Tooth from him, though. Who knows? Or he gets the fully evolved build.
Definitely could still be a hybrid build, as that is still the meta. Actually, the most interesting thing for me is probably not seeing the tier coming out, because we do see that in multiple iterations of the build, or at least I have. But choosing to forego that one, and it will kind of mean a little bit more power in the short term, potentially sacrificing a little bit more of that late, as these top laners, seriously, this is the most aggressive tank v tank matchup I've ever watched.
Yeah, and just serious, without that tier as well, he's gonna have to really have good mana management. Say that 5 times fast. As like Genesis, using the lantern there just to make sure there's nobody hiding in that bush, so that way he doesn't get popped. But yeah, we're back on the top lane. So, and I wanted to point out, Elsa, that Kai'Sa actually built the Ludens, or not Ludens. I'm sorry, Liandry's. So definitely the damage build, which does make sense after realizing, okay, you have a Poppy, you have a Trundle, even the Ahri and Ezreal, they have some type of healing factors, so that does make sense from Kai'Sa, but we'll see what he's gonna build. Actually, we have the Oblivion Orb coming out in his inventory, so curious to see what he's gonna build next here. Is he gonna complete that Morello's, or is he gonna go for a more supportive item next? But I think we might just get a damage karma, which is going to be disgusting.
Yeah, and again, talking about this tankiness that comes out from Goldfish, definitely makes sense to build the Liandry's Anguish in that particular situation with the Agony passive helping out, but Okami might be in trouble.
Using the charge. Oh, Okami barely gets out with the Spirit Rush there, and actually will get out with the Q. Oh my goodness, Void Seeker goes wide, and Okami almost got popped, but lives with his life. But it's gonna have to go back home and recall.
But this is
and
so
now we
huge.
have the Rift Herald coming out here, but they're just gonna use that to, probably ensure this tower here, as they want to secure their first drink of the game, and it is a mountain. So, oh man, what a soul for this game, right?
Yeah, Mountain Soul is really valuable, actually, for both teams, because we've talked about it for Goldfish Gaming, but also Archon gonna get exceedingly tanky on the Shogath. Already is really, and then with Kai'Sa already providing so much shielding with this Karma, getting the additional shield from the Mountain Drake is just going to make them really difficult to cut through, especially with the Goldfish Gaming team here that, sure, Ezreal is going to scale well, does provide DPS, but it's a little bit conditional on hitting his skill shots. So because of that, the sustained damage is somewhat limited from Goldfish in this situation, so both teams definitely would highly value that soul. And the stacking is now substantially delayed by Horizon by taking that, whereas if Goldfish had been able to secure the third one already, that would be a major win condition for them. But for now, Desirous.
Oh, absolutely. It's Okami using the Spirit Rush there. Oh, the charm lands with the Desirous Flash. Chop comes out. Shut down for Mossy here as he gets the kill onto Kai'Sa. Oh, I kind of wish that went to Ahri, but I guess it's okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, Redacted. I think there's been 2 kills so far this game that Moss definitely could have been given over to his mid laner, but opted to take it himself instead. Trundle gets very strong. We can see that he has the Divine Sunderer.
Hostile takeover just to... Oh, it does land on Light Genesis there, but doesn't do much. And Elsa... Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, I thought we were going to have another fight there. It's the Cho'Gath is coming in pretty quick. But I wanted to point out, Elsa, that we see the Liandry's Anguish on both mid laners. Kraken Slayer coming out from the Kaisa here, not Karma. So this screams to me that both teams want. It's gonna be. We're in season 5. We're getting the tank v tank 5v5 matchup. It's gonna be team fighting, but we have the ultimate coming up from the hacker room here. Fear, as Okami is running for his life. Ignite burns him down. Wait, Observer? Oh, I guess that was all we got in the mid lane, as we are now on the top lane here. Is the Poppy and the Cho'Gath are just having a wet noodle fight. Rupture goes wide. Poppy gets the stun onto the wall there. Slow, steadfast presence here, just buffing up those stats and some more defensive stats being added to the champion. Rupture hits again. Archon with the Pharaoh Scream. He's getting low. Is he gonna chomp him? Flash and kill will be secure for Archon here. Wow, that took a while. Yeah, I don't think I need to expend that much saliva on that fight.
And Peanut just not having as much respect as he needs to in that situation for the feast from the Cho'Gath. As they might be
Flash, handshake coming out from the Renata here. Archon, Killer Instinct out from Jasirius. They will secure the kill to Light Genesis, but Charm lands onto the Kaiser there as Okami Hayazu is trying to get the kill. Bailout does not save the Karma. Instead, her life is given over, and Horizon Gaming still in a position of power, though currently in this top lane, as Mossy wants to challenge them and just scare them off a bit. We're getting some pinks coming out. Teleport coming out from Peanut here. They're looking for it. You get the steadfast engage onto Bravo there. Steadfast presence coming out, but now Mozzie has overstepped as his life will be given over to Kaiser Uwu. The Q goes wide, and that will be all for this fight right now, I think. Is there going to be more?
They are going to try to push in towards this turret. Archon will recall.
Whoa, what's going on here? Peanut out of position as Adapt. Keeper's verdict to send away the 2 tanks as Peanut is trying to escape with his life. Oh my goodness, Mantra Q does so much damage, but the Lantern will be taken. Peanut gets out with his life, and I think we're finally going to have a little break here, y'all.
Yeah, finally a moment for you to breathe, Redacted, as Goldfish trying to punish with that flank teleport definitely looked really good, and I like the idea, but, ends up being a 1-for-1 sort of in the long term of that push with Mossy going down.
That was only a 1-for-1, really?
There was kills earlier, but kind of with the extended chase, it ended up just being Bravo traded for Mossy, so,
wow.
is that worth the teleport? Hard to say. Some of this bounty gold, though, does start to come through for the Goldfish, specifically with Decerus being taken down, was sporting, I think, a 350 gold bounty, so some kills being picked up on some key members. I know Kami picked up one of those kills. I think he was the one who picked it up onto Decerus, and then Dirt also getting the one onto Bravo, so those are sort of those places where they need to get this gold so that Ezreal, specifically for me, can start to scale and maybe lay down some of this poke so that Goldfish can start to come into these team fights with some sort of advantage, because it seems like in the full-on 5v5s, they're just getting smacked right now.
Yeah, definitely getting smacked indeed. And honestly, this game is so close. I'm not even going to try and call it who I think has the advantage right now. The gold difference is only about 1k in favor of Horizon, as Kaiser Uwu is looking to get the root onto the Poppy there, but just burst Ezreal for half his health. Oh my god. Does he might have to build a Hex Trick here, maybe? I don't know. That's a lot of damage though.
Yeah, I mean, I think on Ezreal in that situation, I mean, yes, building some magic would assist, but really, yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. Really, you just can't afford to be hit by that. You need to be much further into the backline. And speaking of these AD carries, if I'm looking at one champion on the Rift right now as, the one with the potential to make the most impact, it's going to be Decerus on this Kai'Sa. We now see that he's completed the Collector, has the upgraded boots. Also, maybe
that's a PD.
Exactly.
PD, right?
Yep, absolutely. Looking for that Phantom Dancer as the third item, which will allow him to feel a little bit more confident, I think, diving in with the ultimate, because that is the one thing that I'll say about this Kai'Sa, pretty short range, so things like the Ezreal do have a tendency to be able to poke it out, but in that all-in sort of situation, the Kai'Sa is always going to be the one coming out on top, and it looks like Goldfish trying to control some of the vision in their jungle. You know, the second dragon was picked up by Horizon, so not going to be another one of those for 4 minutes. And the river control overall is heavily in the favor of Horizon as Archon takes out this ward in the Baron pit. But don't think we're going to see
that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see either team starting it super soon, though. But Horizon notably does have a pretty good Baron take. Kaisa does it really fast, and of course Cho'Gath.
Farmland from Okami there. Rupture onto the Ahri, though. Hook from the Thresh. But hostile takeover to deter their advance any further. Ooh. Spirit Rush Charm misses. And lots of posturing, lots of flaring. We're like a bunch of chickens out here, or peacocks, I guess you want to say, showing who's the bigger and badder bird. But right now, oh wait, hold that thought though. As Horizon, are they trying to bait the Baron?
They are. Kaiser's on a ward though, so that is going to be, now they are going to spot it out.
Now they're starting it.
Yep, Baron going to be started up. Peanut
Sirius
does
is
have
half
teleport.
health here. The Sirius is half health here, but he does have his 2 supports, and I think it looks like Goldfish just might give this. Do they even know that they're too late? But now Horizon Gaming looking for the fight here as Mozzie is just blown up by the Sirius here. And nope, I thought they were going to recall, but looks like we're not done yet. Goldfish, watch your backs, watch your fronts. You do not want to blow this fight. And yeah, they're just going to back off now and go ahead and reset on the map, get their bearings together, and prepare for this Baron push out from the side of Horizon Gaming. Wow, Elsa, this game is really giving us what we've wanted, and it's definitely showing that Horizon is they haven't fallen as much as people may have thought after that loss last week.
Yeah, no, making a statement coming out here and looking so strong right out of the gate, not blinking an eye after that matchup last week. And I think that what we just saw with this Baron take is a perfect example of the way that Goldfish is inexperienced coming from behind in these games that they've so often been ahead because of their mechanical skill that they're able to use in the lane phase. Specifically how, you know, giving away the Baron in that situation is understandable to me because of the fact that it's so difficult to go in without any vision and sort of challenge for it. But instead of just deciding to give it up, they hesitate, they go in late and have multiple members die. And then on top of that, Peanut using the teleport after Mossy has already gone down. And in my opinion, the team fight is pretty much lost at that point. So not only do they give up the Baron, but they also lose a teleport and they lose some extra gold from kills too. So just something that has been really crucial to Goldfish's success so far this split has been the way that they all stick to the same shot call. Whether or not it's the best call, for me, the best call is always going to be the one that everyone follows. And I think that it looked like Mossy there kind of wanted to push toward the Baron when the rest of the team was not on the same page, and it's never going to work out. And Horizon now trying to take advantage of this Baron power play, pushing into the jungle of the Goldfish.
Yeah, definitely. And before we expand on that, I just did want to point out something that I love that you pointed out and said was that, strong teams that when they're win streaking and they're always ahead, the first time they get behind is so foreign to them and they don't know necessarily what to do. So like you said, this will be a real testament and test for Goldfish to see how well they can play from behind in terms of gold, in terms of tempo, and they will be spotted out from the death bush there. So, well played from the side of Goldfish. They sussed something was up. They spotted it out, and yeah, that could have potentially been a game-ending play if they had just walked into that, blindly without scouting their surroundings first. So well played from them.
Yeah, definitely impressive from Goldfish to, in that moment, have the discipline to be able to know, we don't need to contest this dragon. Obviously, we don't want to give it away, but it's only the third one. It's not the soul yet, just soul point. They would rather wait, bide their time, get some more items on their carries, and then, take their chances there. So, but with that being said, scaling continuing to occur here from Horizon Gaming. 3 items now completed on the Cho'Gath in the top lane. He is extremely tanky now. Likely going to be very difficult to be taken down.
How many stacks does he have?
That's a good question.
Let's see. If I can find 11 stacks.
So not bad. Definitely not bad. I think in competitive play, it's a little bit harder to stack that ultimate, but either way, is going to be really tanky. The one caveat that I'll give to that is that Mossy with the Subjugate will be able to take some of that down, but there's also just so much health from the Cho'Gath, which is something that Trundle can't do anything about. So, will be difficult to kill. Again, with this Ezreal that doesn't have the sort of DPS that something like a Jinx, something like a Kai'Sa, or a Zeri would be able to provide at this point in the game, and it will be Horizon pushing here on the inner turret. Desirous looking absolutely fearless.
Absolutely fearless indeed. And this is what I mean by tank meta is starting to creep back into the game, is this Kai'Sa, we know she doesn't have as much range, but with her beefy boys in front of her and her 2 supports basically behind her, she can confidently step up to that tower and take it down. So, I mean, this is a really well thought out draft from the side of Horizon, but a hook lands onto the Karma here, and it looks like it was a trap card instead, as the Adapt goes in with the fear and is able to secure the kill onto the Goldfish support there. Desirous is now here. He flashes onto Okami there, will be able to secure the kill. The Kai'Sa is still alive. Poppy is trying to tank up as much as she can. Ezreal kills Karma off screen. Flash coming out from the Karma here. Desirous is still alive. And wait, they kill the Kai'Sa. Dirt's still alive. I didn't even realize that. I thought he was dead. Feast onto the Ezreal here, and the Rupture comes out from the side of Archon as he's now trying to run out with his life. Oh my goodness! It looks like Horizon, what was a fight in their favor, was a trap card instead for the side of Goldfish Gaming as they secure the kill onto Archon here. And Elsa, did Sirius make the wrong move, focusing onto the Poppy there instead of trying to kill the Ezreal after he's killed the kill onto the Ahri there?
Yeah, and Goldfish just won't say die. Mossy was in that top lane. I was wondering why he wanted to recall when Dirt was too busy stopping the recalls from Horizon, but it ends up getting back and being able to participate in that team fight in time. And you make a very good point there, Redacted, that Desirous spending a lot of time hitting that Poppy, who just is really, really hard to take down.
She's just a bunch of stats. She's just a bunch of stats.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, and I will say, though, pretty impressive amount of damage coming out from Peanut. You know, I guess that's kind of the life of an AD carry, but you know, was able to affect that as well. So now Desirous is going to have his recall stopped.
The Okami using the Spirit Rush charm onto Bravo here. Bravo using the bailout to no avail, as he will not be able to secure a kill onto any member of Goldfish Gaming. And now Tempo, I feel like, has swung into Goldfish's favor, and the team that was behind is now nope, they're still behind in Goat. Never mind.
It's close enough. It's close enough. It's an interesting situation here. We have Peanut sitting on this Baron. Now they are going to go onto it a little bit more, but they don't want to take a 50-50.
Charm misses. Light Genesis hiding in this bush here, but you have a Cho'Gath in front of you. Rupture, Inner Flame from Kaiser Uwu to poke them out, and Goldfish are now on the retreat. And they're just going to go back home, reset, as we see pings for the Mountain Drake coming out. It's a soul fight coming on our way in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it will be the Mountain Soul on the table here. Both teams rushing to get there as soon as they
not
possibly
want to give
can.
this to Horizon. Four souls.
Will be, yeah, no, they can't give it away, but Goldfish, they are going to be here in time to at least contest it. Still 20 seconds, and notably Goldfish are the ones who get a couple of more recalls off to be able to not only heal up, but also make the most of the gold that they've been able to grab off of that most recent team fight. So
oh my
goodness. Come in here.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Void Seeker coming out from the series here. Dirt has been poked to about half his health from the Kai'Sa and the Karma here. They need to ensure this Ezreal stays up. Oh my goodness. That is now 2/3 of his health bar, and he's still gonna stay here, but he's gonna have to really mind his positioning as Horizon Gaming, they secured the soul. Hostile takeover comes out. Oh my goodness, as Adapt just blows up the front line there with the fear. The series using the killer instinct onto Okami Hayazo. He's gonna escape with the Spirit Rush there, but Horizon Gaming have taken control of the map. They have taken the soul, and now they're looking to take this mid lane turret.
Yeah.
Potentially the inhibitor as well.
Yeah, Horizon Gaming, they're keeping the minions alive as long as they can, having Archon.
They don't need the minions, they got Cho'Gath.
Exactly. They just want it under there to make sure that they can get the
Are
little
they?
buff on their damage. I think
Do you
they're
think
going to try
they're gonna
to
look for the
push it all
game?
the way here. It's
Do you think they're gonna look for the game
3v5.
here?
23 seconds still on Mossy before he's going to be able to come up.
Oh
and
my
they do
goodness!
have this
Wait for it.
Kaisa.
Cho'Gath is a big boy. Cho'Gath is a big boy. Adapt this here, like Genesis and Dirt. What can you do? You have the charge coming out from the Adapt here to secure the kill onto Thresh. He is taken down. You have just the 2 damage dealers here from the side of Goldfish Gaming, but it doesn't matter. It looks like Horizon Gaming will take game 1 of this series, but we're not done as they want to pad the KDA here. Wait, hold on. I won't call it just yet. We still have some fighting at Archon. Oh, Archon gets the kill onto Dirt there, and yep, there it is. There it is. Game 1 over to Horizon Gaming. GG.
Horizon Gaming, they've done it. They've done what nobody else has been able to do so far, and that's take a single game off of Goldfish Gaming. And even though it was a close game, Redacted, they do it in pretty dominant form from start to finish. They build advantages, they stay consistent, and they play heavily based off of their extremely strong bottom lane, who's headed up by Desirus, who had a great performance on this Kaisa pick in game 1.
Absolutely great performance indeed. As I know we don't have damage charts, but I just want to see if I can.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if Cho'Gath and Poppy did by far the most damage in that
I'm trying
game.
to see who did the most
they were
damage.
noodling each other the entire time. I really would not be surprised if it was Archon or Peanut, honestly, with the most damage to champions.
I can't even tell. I'd have to go back and forth between the KDAs, so I'm not going to do that. So we'll just talk about the game. But go ahead, Elsa. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, sort of thinking about the way that this played out in the context of especially that soul fight at the end, I really like the way that Horizon went about that because, again, it's that situation where Horizon does not have any reason that they need to force the issue around the dragon. Sure, they want to pick up that mountain soul, but if it was Goldfish picking up, it only would have been the 3rd stack for them. So, instead, Horizon just kind of biding their time. But they also know at the same time, Goldfish had limited engage. They have really limited options outside of a Poppy flank TP to be able to force the issue with the fight. Whereas on the other side for Horizon, they know that they have so much secure on objectives between the Cho'Gath, as well as obviously the smite from the jungler, and Goldfish just really didn't have a way to deal with that with their team composition, and so we get into this situation, Redacted, that I talked about before the game. How will Goldfish be able to adapt and overcome going into game 2?
Ooh, wow, and yeah, Adapt is the name of the game, and it is also the name of the jungler of Horizon Gaming, and Adapt he did indeed. It was a really exciting game, and Elsa, you called it. You literally called it that we've never seen Goldfish behind, and I mean they did try to make some moves to ensure ensure a path back to victory, but they looked a little bit. I don't want to use the word lost, but they looked a little bit lost from behind. It's different when you play from a position of disadvantage. You have to think a bit more creatively, a bit more smartly. You have an Ezreal as well, so he's not the type of champion that can just dive into a composition like the Kaisa can. I'm very curious as to how Goldfish Gaming will adapt for their game 2 draft here, and see how they press forward because man, this game 1 was so close. Like I said, we couldn't call it until the very end,
Yeah, no, and that's how in this meta right now we see so many games like this where there's such an emphasis on team fighting that at the end of the day, the last team to win a team fight is going to be the team to take it home. That seems kind of obvious in some sense, but the ability for teams to be able to turn around gold leads in the team fights is so strong, and we saw that from Goldfish, right? That little bit of an overextension into the blue side jungle of Goldfish where Horizon did end up sort of getting wiped out there. So these comebacks definitely were possible, but just a few execution errors, some decision-making issues here and there. That's the only thing separating these two teams.
And my question for you, Elsa, is now, because I think, do we see a different ADC for the side of Goldfish Gaming here? Do they put dirt on something else? Ezreal wasn't a bad pick. I just don't think he was the best pick, especially into a tank composition like the ones Horizon Gaming drafted. Granted, they did pick him second, so I'm looking back at the draft here, and I'm just curious as to seeing what was still available. You know, Vayne was still available. Jin, who else? Saya, Tristana. Like, I, I just wonder what maybe Goldfish Gaming could have done better to bust these tanks,
Right.
basically.
Yeah. Well, and Dirt definitely has other picks that he can turn to. We've mostly seen him almost exclusively on Ziggs, but we also saw him on Seraphine last week. But with that being said, Redacted, neither of those solved the problem that you've identified, which is being this tank busting, presence that 80 carry is usually the one that is able to provide. So we'll have to see if they're able to adapt and put him on something that has a little bit DPS, more DPS. I think that Horizon's done a really good job in exposing what's really a weakness of these Goldfish
Oh,
compositions, which
you
is
know all the other teams are
yeah,
taking notes.
they lack DPS later in the game. Normally, that doesn't become an issue for Goldfish because if you get far enough ahead, if you get rolling right, you don't need the DPS because the amount of burst that they're able to provide means that it's just irrelevant. But if a team is like Horizon is able to compete with them in lane and force the game a little bit later, that is going to become more of an issue. So again, not sure how they're going to adapt, but I know that they're talking right now. I know that Mossy has been spoken really, really highly of their drafting coach with P, and I think he's probably got something up his sleeve to respond to what we just saw.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll have to find out as we take a break here, and we'll be back for game two of Horizon versus Goldfish Gaming. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, as we are here for game two of Horizon Gaming versus the Goldfish Game or Goldfish Gaming, not the Goldfish Gaming Squad.
Well,
um, yeah, I was trying to spice it up a bit, but I gotta put respect on their team name, right? But we have to just comment the first thing we see here as we're getting ready for draft. Goldfish Gaming have elected for the red side. So that screams, obviously, they want the counter pick. What position they're going to counter pick for, though? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I'm very curious as to see what it'll be. What are your thoughts, Elsa?
yeah, I think that actually Goldfish has prefer. I think that they probably prefer the red side a little bit in terms of the draft. You mentioned who the counter pick would go to. Typically, always going to Okami in the mid lane. Usually we see. I mean, not always, but typically we see one of the solo laners getting that counter pick, but Peanut not really benefiting from it quite as much just because of the number of tanks that he plays, and he doesn't really play a style that necessitates getting that counter pick. So I would imagine it going to Okami. With that being said, I believe in the last game he had the counter pick as well. Didn't end up mattering with that Karma just being super, super strong. So thinking a little bit about how the picks and bans might change going into this game too. I would anticipate that Goldfish Gaming will maybe swap things up a bit. They did take away the Vex in game number one. Vex certainly a really, really strong champion, rising a lot in priority, but given how strong that Kaiser was on the Karma in game one, kind of seems to be his specialty, and I would not allow him back onto that in this second run onto the Rift here if I was Goldfish Gaming.
You would not allow him back onto the Karma, you said.
Yeah, no, I mean
But
as the
you're,
Kaiser.
you're warranting a Karma ban in the first round?
I think so because as the Kaiser fanboys or whatever, or fan people I should say, in the
The fandom,
Twitch chat,
are they going crazy in chat?
as the Kaiser fandom pointed out in the Twitch chat, he did have the most damage to champions in the game, and it's on the Karma. He went for that damage build, but still, when we think about Karma, not thinking about leading your team in the damage category, definitely a little bit more about that shielding. So being able to do that and neutralize Okami, who we think of as possibly the best mid laner in this conference, is really, really huge. And I think that it's interesting too, just talking about sort of the style that Kaiser took with this Karma, being a little bit just of a neutralizer, trying not necessarily to hard win the lane against Okami, just make sure that Okami couldn't get anything done. Did a nice job of sitting under his turret. One time comes to mind where he was able to be caught out, but in general, keeping himself safe from the ganks that do inevitably come through onto that mid lane from Mossy. So hats off to Kaiser in game one. Definitely the rest of the team too, but he was the MVP there. And, I hear you, Redacted. It would not typically, I do not recommend first round banning Karma, but it's something we could see. Especially if Goldfish Gaming doesn't have something in mind to really specifically counter it, which I think is hard again because he's just going to try to not interact in the lane phase.
Yeah, and I wanted to say though, if they ban the Karma, that then leaves potentially either you have to give up either the Jinx, Vex, or Kale that they had banned in the first game. So I don't know if you necessarily have to ban the Karma from Kaiser, because those are, maybe you could trade the Kale ban for the Karma ban, but is because Kale you can kind of you can definitely cripple the Kale, by just bullying her early game and ensuring that you win the game before she does scale up and just goes crazy. But I don't know for sure if a Karma ban, God, so many K names, is
Against
warranted. Yeah, against Kaiser. I'm more curious as to how Goldfish are going to respond to some of these tank picks, and I'm curious as to if Horizon are going to continue with these tank picks as well. I don't know if Cho'Gath necessarily warrants a ban, but if he got banned, would I be surprised? No, that champ is obnoxious, as we have saw and have seen. And it looks like
We should finally be getting into the draft here in a second. And it's interesting that you mentioned the potential takeaway of the Cho'Gath because though he hasn't pulled it out so far during this split, Cho'Gath is a peanut champion. It's something that he has played at least a limited amount of in solo queue. So could be taken away for Goldfish's own purposes, because I doubt that it's going to be first picked. And just continuing to talk a little bit about the bans, the reason why I think it might be worth allowing the Vex through in front of something like a Karma is, at least if Kaiser's playing something like Vex, he's going to be forced to get a little bit more aggressive. We know that Vex is about that huge engage, jumping in, getting the fear onto multiple members, and really leaving her a little bit exposed. So that's why I think that Goldfish might feel a little bit more comfortable sort of taking that skill throwdown instead of the Karma, which, while certainly it takes skill to play, is generally sort of an easier style of champion to take on. But just like that, we are into the bans.
This time, yes, we are into picking bans, so you will get some actual analysis and observation on it this game. Wow, you called it, Elsa. You actually called it. R1 ban, Karma.
Yeah, I just, again, especially being on red side, they can't take it away either. So they're, and I just think I think 100% Horizon will first pick it if it does go through. So they do continue to take that Vex away, and then the Mundo and the Ziggs are going to be kind of stock and standard takeaways from that core lineup that Goldfish likes to put on the Rift. Zeri though, I feel like kind of a feels bad moment to be banning that on blue side.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I mean, Zeri, even though she's been out for quite a bit now, we still haven't seen a lot of teams necessarily know how to play around her or with her. It's in solo queue. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Or in a funnel, the champion is fine. You know, she has a lot of mobility and whatnot. But as a team, in a team composition, it's much harder to try and protect this pick and kill for her when so many champions are available to just dive onto her. And I would say that there's still some champions that are stronger than her right now, that can do a lot more hyper carrying than the Zeri, such as the Jinx, you know, and the Kai'Sa now that's starting to get back in priority. So I think it's more of a comfort thing for a lot of these teams that they're still trying to figure out the best way to include her into their matchups and team compositions versus she's not a strong pick.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, speaking more about these hyper carries, it is going to be the Jinx ban that ends up being the one dropped off by Goldfish and promptly does get snapped up by Horizon.
We got the Shadow Isles from Goldfish, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I like this response from Goldfish. You know, Mossy on this Hecarim. Not only does it deny it away from Adapt, but it also has been strong for Mossy. Looked really good on it last week against PGO, and it does provide sort of that dive and that engage that they were really missing in game one. They didn't have that ability to force fights when they needed to, and you know that Hecarim with his ultimate being able to just dive all the way into that Jinx in the backline is huge. And you know, coming in response though, I was just going to mention, I think I said it earlier, but Adapt, he is basically maybe not a one trick, but heavily prefers the Viego in solo queue, and will pick up that one. It went unbanned last time as well, but this time it's gonna be chosen.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We get the Lulu though from the side of Horizon. So I'm curious as to see if Goldfish are going to pick their AD now. Oh, they're locking in the cinched. Are they gonna do it, or is that a hover?
No, they'll. I mean, they might not, but they probably will. This is definitely a big pick for Peanut. So while it is a little bit unusual in general, we think of Singed as very kind of niche champion, I guess, fits into a very specific place. It has been really typical for Goldfish, and as we do tick down to 0,
And
is going to be the lock-in. But the Lulu being taken as well, this is something that Bravo has picked multiple times in the support role. You know, like something that we don't, not sure if it's worth getting into or not, but technically could maybe be flexed into the mid lane for Horizon
or
Gaming.
even top.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it. I mean, just to give that shielding, it's the same kind of thing, right? Buff and the Viego really benefits from being shielded, being kind of buffed up by the speed boost that the Lulu is able to provide. So isn't out of question for the Lulu to potentially go into the mid lane. But with that said, you know, Goldfish after the second round of bans will undoubtedly be saving the counter pick for mid. So
that was a bug. Apparently, it's not Karthus, but Kale that's supposed to be banned for Horizon on B4. So, I'm sorry, not for Horizon, but
banned against Goldfish. Yeah, no, you said it right.
Yeah, I said it right. Yeah, I said it right. Thank you. Yeah, I was looking at the chat names to see who was saying what.
Yeah, makes sense. And you know, they took away. So Kale banned by Horizon?
No, Kale by Goldfish. I think the Goldfish ban was messed up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Goldfish ban was messed up on R4.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, Goldfish ban. So that's Kale. So it is Karthus ban for Horizon. Karthus and Seraphine. Kale and Gwen for Goldfish.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. So 2 tank busting champions taken away from Archon's possible pool, but Goldfish here hovering onto the Vigar. This would be a takeaway from Kaiser, who is a big Vigar player. We saw him pick up a quadra kill in the first series that I did cast Horizon in during the regular season. So interestingly enough, not saving the counter pick for the mid, instead saving it for Dirt in the AD carry role.
Or really could Dirt be playing Vigar? Could this be an all-mage lineup?
That's true. Good point. Good point. That's the PGO special. They always used to bring that one out, the Vygar into the bottom lane. So definitely could be Vygar bottom lane. I just wanna point it. Oh, hold on though.
Oh, they did it. They locked in the castle win. So I want chat to I want chat to count for me, please. We're gonna count levels and we're gonna count to 16.
Yeah,
And we will see if Horizon take the game or not.
yeah,
But
and
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, I kind of challenged Horizon, to what's gonna happen in this world where Kaiser is actually forced to throw down in a more 1v1 sort of skill matchup against Okami, who has been so strong,
Oh
as we are
boy.
missing another pick here. Looks like it was the
Akshan.
Akshan
Akshan. Oh
locked
my
into the top
god.
lane.
Okay,
So that's
this
big pick
draft.
for Archon. Has like that Akshan should have a pretty free laning phase, I would imagine, against Singed, and you called it, Redacted. Look at that. They're playing
Not yet, not
games
yet.
with
You gotta wait
us.
till it locks in. We gotta wait till it locks in. But I think it is gonna be Yone. Oh my good. This draft is nuts because like to me, if you're Horizon, right, you can potentially lose this game and still be okay because you already have one up in the series. But Goldfish absolutely need to win this game. And putting the Vygar in the bot lane, so it's gonna be Vygar Thresh in the
Yep.
bot lane, Singe top, probably gonna have a hole breaker as well. Hecarim in the jungle, Yone mid against a Kassadin, Jinx, Lulu bot lane, Viego jungle, and Akshan top. This draft is nuts. I don't even know. Let's just start from the top, Elsa. Let's start from the top and work our way down. Let's go through it lane by lane. So, what do we expect to see in the top lane? Akshan versus the Singed, because we know Singed is gonna split. He's gonna proxy farm, and he's just gonna be straight up annoying.
Yeah, and so Peanut usually plays the Singe in a way that's a little bit different from
Okay.
kind of that typical style that you talked about. Not that he never would be known to proxy, but typically actually sort of plays more just in the lane, playing
Okay.
the champion more for kind of his grouping and team fighting potential. Honestly, Peanut
Words
does
you
always
never
like to
hear from
scrap it
Singe
up.
players.
Yeah, but well, and yeah, Singe is typically thought of as the split push champion, but it's been a while now. But ever since Singe was sort of reworked with that ability to flick people over onto the goo and then they get rooted onto there, it is actually pretty strong single target engage. Which against this Horizon Gaming composition, which is going to heavily center around the Jinx as that hyper carry, it does make sense to be able to sort of lock her down for Yone, to be able to jump in there for Vygar to be able to dump the damage down in. So I would look for Peanut. I mean, I don't know. I say I look for him to play safe, but last game he did not do that at all. We'll see if he does it a little bit different this time. But usually for Akshan, this should be a pretty free farming lane, which is exactly what Akshan wants. If Akshan can get through the lane phase with all that free farm for himself, does definitely start to become a menace in the side lanes and is so hard to chase down with his hook shot.
And I don't want to spend too much time on the top lane matchup anymore because I do want to talk about some of the other lanes. But I haven't seen a lot of Akshans win games. I haven't encountered him much in my solo queue experiences, but I mean more so in the pro scene. I haven't seen, or in amateur as well. In the few games I've seen him play, I haven't seen him win much. So I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see how that goes. But let's just move on to the jungle matchup here. We got the Viego versus the Hecarim. So what are your thoughts on this, Elsa?
Yeah, so Viego versus Hecarim, earlier in season pass when Viego is a little bit stronger, I would say that he would have a heavy advantage in the early game. Hecarim usually wanting to get kind of up to that level 4 in order to be able to have the ganking power with his E. But as it stands right now, I think both of these champions not necessarily incredibly strong in the early game, but they both will scale really heavily and make a huge impact on the game. So looking for both junglers to probably do a full clear before sort of making any impact in that first few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the mid lane matchup is going to be so volatile. We already know what Kassadin wants to do. He wants to get to level 16, and he wants to be that just hyper carry that will burst down. And honestly, a lot of these champions are, I would say, basically single target. the Vygar, he does have some CC and AoE that he can use to corral the side of Horizon Gaming. And Yone with the ultimate there, but it's going to be very interesting to see how these compositions are played together. And then, of course, we have the bot lane. I expect this Vygar Thresh to not necessarily win the lane, but to be just really annoying. Um, Thresh lands a hook, Vygar gets the cage out, or vice versa. Vygar gets the event horizon that corrals the side of the Sirius and Bravo there, and then Thresh goes ahead and hooks him up, and they just get some damage down. I don't see them potentially winning the lane or bursting them out until level 6, where they'll have the ultimate there, the primordial burst, and the box to corral them even more. So I do see Sirius and Bravo is just having that level 1 to level 5 advantage early. So hopefully Adapt can then roam to his bot lane and help them out and potentially put this Vygar and Thresh combo behind as well.
Yeah, and I think, while at this level of play, you never know what you're going to get in terms of, the 2v2 kills in the bot lane. Both of these duos are definitely built to just kind of hang out during the lane phase. The Jinx, Vygar, both, have huge scaling potential, and they're just going to want to pick up as many minions as they can as they sort of, scale up and get stronger and stronger and stronger. But guess what? I'm talking right now, and that means that I am once again going to steal Redacted's responsibility of talking about our sponsor, who I know and love. And, this is a really interesting draft. Speaking of drafts, if you want to be able to draft as interestingly as some of these teams, you might consider checking out ProComps. I don't know if you know about it, but it's actually the first of its kind drafting tool, and it's for competitive as well as solo queue play. It allows you to use the user live feedback and analysis on their drafting, gives them recommendations on picks, notes on the matchup, analysis on the enemy team's win conditions. What more could you ask for? And it allows the user to gain an edge on their opponent and improve their drafting skills. Now you, as a lucky viewer of the CCS, are allowed, I'll allow it, are allowed to use the code CCS25. Once again, that's CCS25, and you can receive 25% off your first 6 months of procomps.gg. But, Redacted, sorry, I just wanted to steal that from you one more time.
No, by all means. No, go ahead, and it's totally fine. As I do want to keep my job though, so. But in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and cut to a short break here as we prepare for Game 2 of Horizon versus Goldfish Gaming. Stay tuned and be right back, and we'll be right back.
Everybody, panic! Hold on! I'm about to say something really cool. 3, 41, 9, and lift off! No one dies screaming without me. I feel like I forgot to shoot something. You're starting to bore me. She's such a loser, always ready to cry. Da-da-da-da. Ah, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Welcome back, everyone, and we are live here for Game 2 of Horizon Gaming versus Goldfish Gaming, and taking a look at the lineup here. It's the standard 5-point, bot lane, just hanging out in the jungle. And Elsa, let's talk about runes and summoner spells, shall we?
Yeah, so just before we jumped in here, we're touching on how Archon off the streamer, touching about how Archon did choose to take the Ignite into the top lane against Peanut, as we do get into just a little bit of a momentary pause there. But kind of an interesting choice, wanting to have that little bit of extra firepower to take down the tank that in Singed. But, we all know the saying, Redacted, don't chase Singed, and even if you're able to lay down that Ignite, it does not necessarily mean that you have the damage to finish it off. But with that said, I'm not going to knock it until I see Archon make use of it. So we'll have to see. It does show me that he will likely look to be very aggressive, especially in the early parts of the laning phase.
Oh, absolutely, and as he should. As we see Mossy there getting the blue buff. And actually, I just realized both junglers are starting on the bottom quadrants of the map. So we might see a little skirmish for that first scuttle there.
Yeah, we definitely could. Mossy will be a little bit behind because it is going to go for the full clear, whereas Adapt did opt to skip out on the Krug. So going to be a little bit faster, making his way up towards the scuttle. But, as we do go towards this mid lane, in game one, Okami was really sort of handicapped in his ability to play that 1v1 sort of skill check style that he likes to. But here in game two, this is his opportunity, right? Not only does he have that melee v melee matchup, but also be able to have
Hook lands from Light Genesis, Event Horizon comes out, the Ignite is ticking down, the Lulu Flash comes out. Flash and heal, as I didn't even realize Lulu took the heal. Okay, wow. So Summoner's burned for Bravo here, but he does get out with his life, and he's gonna have to be a bit more aware and pay a bit more respect to this bot lane of the Goldfish squad. I did say that was a dangerous bot lane there. They are corralled again with the Event Horizon. Action continues as Kaiser Uwu is getting a drive-by ran on him by the side of the Hecarim and the Yone there, but he's gonna flash out and get out with his life. And Elsa, you wanna give us a little breakdown of what's just been happening here? Hold that thought. Viego uses the stun there onto Mozzie, but he's just gonna canter out and live with his life. But okay, Adapt's just gonna posture in the mid lane to make sure his mid laner doesn't get harassed anymore by this Yone here. So yeah, lots of skirmishes once again. Sorry.
No, definitely. More activity in the early game than I necessarily would have expected, but this is Goldfish kind of getting back to what
Flash coming out from Okami, and he's gonna secure the first blood.
Yes, and Okami, he was feeling angry.
We're not done. As Mozzie and Pina here, he gets the go down to Archon. Flash out from the Akshan here. He moved to Mozzie just to troll him a little bit. He's autoing down the horsey there, telling him to get out of my lane. And Akshan there is gonna keep his life.
Yeah, and Okami crucially picking up that first blood in the solo kill. So huge beneficiary of Mossy coming down there early and coming mid lane early and blowing the flash means that Kassadin is really, really vulnerable. And Okami just flashing forward, super, super confident, and coming off of their first loss of the season.
From Light Genesis, Event Horizon comes out once again, but I mean, like I said, this is good though. Yeah. This is really good because they're getting into the heads of these Horizon Gaming bot laners here. But as of right now, they have no kill pressure. As we see Mozzie here to harass Akshan once again, but it's not gonna net him anything. Just a bit more harass.
Yeah, and it is that is something that's important to think about when we talk about Akshan. Is again that hook shot, really strong ability, not only in terms of damage, but also just a huge amount of mobility to be able to escape these ganks even after having blown his flash. Archon able to get himself to safety, which is really important for him because without the teleport, if he does get killed early on, or if he gets forced to recall,
is
Okami
did he? Did he misjudge that? He had to have misjudged that, right? It didn't even hit him, right?
You know, kind of unfortunate.
His Adapt is running from his life as Mozzie is sauntering down onto the Viego here.
Level down.
And his life will be given. Oh, he blows the flash! He should be dead. Yep, dead there. It looks like we had ourselves a kill in the bot lane as well. Yep. Okami Hayazo here to help his jungler as this Kassadin is running away with his life, but he's just going to be taking out Ignite, Tower Shot, and traded back. So 2 for 2, actually, in this current skirmish that we... Oh, actually, 1 for 2.
Yeah, and you know, for a scaling champion like Kassadin, it is pretty big for him to be able to pick up that early kill. Does accelerate his build a little bit in addition to the XP, but overall I would say that that's a pretty big win for Goldfish Gaming, especially given that we haven't talked about this kill that happened bottom lane as Bravo being a little bit greedy with the way he's
trying to get that wave. Yeah.
Dirt though, no mana for the Vigar. Also haven't been able to recall, so no items. And that was something too that I wanted to point it out. Oh, Adapt though.
Adapt using the stun onto Light Genesis there, and they will be able to secure the kill onto Thresh. Zap coming out from Desirius here. Oh, flash hook from Adapt here as he roots Dirt, but his jungler is here to assist him. But yep, they're just gonna back out. Actually, nope. They're scaring me here, man. I'm like, wait. I think they're done. No, they're gonna fight somewhere. I can't tell. There's so many skirmishes that are just these micro skirmishes that are happening across the map. In this early game is a lot more action-packed and aggressive than it was in game 1.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams getting a lot more action here in the early game. Nice dodge out there from Kaiser.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
But look at how afraid he is. Right? Yeah, look at how afraid he is right now of this Yone. Has hit level 6 onto the Kassadin, which is usually. Oh,
Mozzie invading on Adapt here, using the Onslaught of Shadows to secure the kill onto the Horizon. Goldfish, they're mad. They're mad.
Yeah, they're mad. Exactly what I was going to say.
They're pissed.
Mossy, you know, we know Mossy. He's a guy who... Oh, mid lane? God, this action just doesn't stop. Mossy, we know he's somebody who's always going to have, you know, sort of that kind of pride for his team. You know, starting up this Goldfish Gaming lineup to enter the CCS in our first split, and has just shown so much improvement and, you know, been able to build this roster that's been so successful, and he's definitely not wanting to see that go to waste here in the series against Horizon, not letting Horizon run away with it yet.
Genesis gets the head splash, and he actually lands onto Kaiser Uwu. Okami using the spirit there to secure the kill onto Kaiser Uwu, and he will get out with his life. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Moss? A little low there.
Mozzie.
Doesn't have smite. He has no mana. He can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So look, 2 kills already onto Okami. And what this means is that later on in the game, this Yone will be able to take himself over into the side lane, and it's going to be really difficult to deal with. I think probably Archon. Well, you know, Kassadin has that mobility and definitely has the scaling, but Archon probably going to be the best one to deal with it. As Peanut has fallen a little bit behind here in CS, but pretty much what we're going to expect in that range versus melee matchup. So, you know, though he is 20 CS behind, which is fairly substantial, hasn't made some of those mistakes that we saw him fall victim to in game 1, where he was getting caught out by Adapt.
You see pings from the Rift Herald here from the side of Horizon Gaming, but Adapt is just out of position. Gonna have to use the Heartbreaker to reposition himself. I don't know if that's gonna be enough for him to secure his life, as Peanut uses the goo to slow him down, but Adapt, oh nope, never mind, as Mossy secures the kill onto the Horizon jungler. There's Peanut body blocks for his jungler.
Nice.
Kaiser Uwu is here to get the kill in retribution back for his top lane, or not top laner there, his jungler there, and he will be revived due to that Akshan passive. Goo comes out from Peanut, Wild Growth out from Bravo, and they will be able to secure the kill onto the top laner there of Goldfish, and now the Polymorph out as well, and whoa, Horizon Gaming take back a commanding charge in this little scuffle we have here in this early game, and this Rift Herald should go over to them.
Yeah, and finally, Mossy takes it too far, going into the jungle, picking up that initial kill onto Adapt, but ends up going a little bit deeper than he would like to, and we just really need to highlight where that gold went. Redacted, 2 huge shutdowns coming through for Horizon Gaming. Both of them on the Kassadin.
Yeah, Kaiser Uwu picking up a lot of gold. And chat, I don't see y'all counting for me. Kaiser is now level 8. He is halfway to the hyper carry that we all love to fear. But let us not, that also doesn't deter the fact that Vigar is also scaling up. And they now have kill pressure as they are both level 6. So we have to also keep our eyes on this bot lane here of Dirt and Light Genesis.
We're keeping our eye down here. Definitely one of the win conditions that we generally kind of think about for Goldfish is making sure their bot lane can stay even. And while in terms of kills, it is pretty even. We are seeing over a 30 CS lead being built up here by Desirus. So I think that this is one of the side effects of Dirt's champion pool being so heavily pinched in Select. You know, Ezreal didn't work out game 1.
Vigar has 64 stacks right now as well.
Yeah, right. You know,
so one down from Okami there as he uses the ultimate to try and escape. Flash, we'll have to flash out. Kaiser Uwu is chasing him down. They thought about it. Oh, he goes, he gets the kill. Oh my goodness, Horizon Gaming looks like Kaiser Uwu is ready to put you on his back and take his team.
Yeah, and Kaiser is not to be trifled with. Wants to prove to everybody watching tonight that he should be considered.
He's not done. We're not done though. Mozzie, oh my goodness, Mozzie. Oh, he uses the spot and he gets the kill. The tower takes him out. The jungler of Goldfish. Oh my goodness. Kaiser Uwu is just playing mind games right now with the Goldfish squad here. And if there's one way Goldfish will win this game or get back into this game, it's through their mid lane now, like, for sure. 6-3, you know, 500 gold bounty.
And it becomes so hard now on Archon.
Uh-oh, Archon's dead. Yep, Archon's dead. He booped the Singe there and misplayed that, and the tower did the rest of the work.
And yeah, I'm just not gonna really say anything more about that kill. Just you know, nice job by Peanut. With that one, but yeah, you know, as I was saying, this Kassadin is going to get really difficult to deal with on the side lane. Yone had this huge lead built up that now, you know, even though he does have that CS lead, we kind of turn it over to the gold. It is still a 1,300 gold advantage for Kassadin, notwithstanding. So Mossie's still running around trying to be super active early on in this Hecarim, but he did just take it too far, really, excuse me, 2 times in a row there. But they are going to look to take the dragon.
Yeah, and this Hex Drake should be secured by the side of Goldfish Gaming, but they're now being corralled here from the side of Horizon. Kaiser Uwu just burns down the Yone here as Bravo and Desirus are running for their lives. They're kiting out this Vigar and Thresh here. They will be able to secure the kill onto the Vigar. They get the kill onto the Thresh as well. And Horizon Gaming, what was a back foot position they were on previously, is now a commanding lead due to their mid laner, who has now decided to spread the wealth with the rest of his team, as Archon using the heroic swing there to just get himself a better position away from Peanut.
And watching that fight, you know, how could you possibly guess? Oh, Mossie again popping the go.
Uh-oh, Mossie.
He's not going to go for it this time, which is, you know, a good call for him.
And Elsa,
Sorry, no, go ahead.
I wanted to say what was a position of power for Goldfish has now like flipped completely against them, and this is looking a little bit bad right now for them.
It certainly is not looking pretty. I mean, you know, the game is not over.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, also, I will say that I don't really think we had a gold lead this big, like at really any point until the game ended in game 1. Does look to be a little bit like, you know, 3.7, 3.8k gold lead, which isn't huge, especially with some of the bounties that are available, notably, especially the one on the Kassadin.
And the flip down onto Archon here. Mozzie is up here. Yep, he should be able to secure the kill onto the Horizon gold top laner here as Okami is trying to stop this Rift Hero here, and he will be able to do
wins. A couple of big wins here. Oh,
Mozzie finds Adapt, and it looks like he's gonna bully this jungler here. Oh, but Adapt still secures the blue up. Kaiser's here to help his jungler. Riftwalk install the shadows to get Mozzie out of position, but it doesn't matter as Kaiser uses the flash. Riftwalk to secure the kill onto the Goldfish jungler there, and Kassadin is now level 11. The Sirius was chasing down the Vigar there. Adapt is here to harass the top laner of Goldfish Gaming, and he's just going to walk away with his life because Adapt does not want the smoke currently. And Elsa, this game is just... This is getting a little bit out of hand now. I have to say, it's actually getting a bit out of hand. It's about a 5k gold lead now, and that's not pretty good for the side of Goldfish here.
Yeah, we do see these little wins here and there from Goldfish, you know, in some of these solo kills that they have been able to accrue in the top lane, or, you know, also get Mozzie coming in for some gank help. Looked like AdaptNet was not actually able to find a good spot to drop that Rift Herald. But with all of that said, you know, it's bad for Goldfish when we still have not even mentioned Decerys.
Yep, absolutely. As Archon flashes out away from Mozzie here, and Peanut just walking up behind him, just clearing out these minions. I mean, he wasn't going to really catch the Akshan there. He's pretty fast with the heroic swing. But yeah, we have not even talked about the bot lane yet. That Jinx is silently 3-1-2, 500 gold bounty, 157 CS.
Yeah, and a few moments ago we saw as the two bot laners kind of traded with each other a little bit. Dirt landing the stun, did have the primordial burst available, but didn't end up trying to go for that all in. And again, just not looking as comfortable on this Vigar pick as he has on things like the Ziggs. You know, game one, he wasn't you know, super impactful on the Ezreal, but he did have his moments, notably that later game team fight. But here on the Vigar will continue to scale, but if he's not able to use the champion,
Kami just... I don't know why he thinks he can beat the Kassadin in a 1v1. Dude, you are not that strong. Oh, wait, hold that thought. Oh my goodness! Luadep comes in and secures the kill onto Akami, and my fault for disrespecting you, Yone. You are pretty strong. I don't know if you would have won it, though, as the Ignite comes out, and they will be able to secure the kill onto Light's Genesis there. So now, the Jinx and Lulu just... also becoming a menace on the map as well.
Yeah,
I thought I saw the Ignite.
The Ignite, last tick of the Ignite taking Light's Genesis down, and you know, Light's Genesis, who's been an incredibly consistent player for Goldfish Gaming, really hasn't necessarily looked himself, I would say, in this series. Not someone that we've placed maybe as much focus on so far, but usually is hitting, usually doesn't really miss with those thresh hooks, and has had some, you know, some missed flays, some missed hooks as well. So just kind of an off day here.
Oh my goodness, as Mozzie's there using the Onslaught of Shadows onto the backline there. It looks like the side of her Goldfish Gaming will be able to take out the Akshan there. Peanut is running down the side of the Sirius and Bravo there. They will be able to secure the kill onto the bot laner of Horizon Gaming. Yone is gonna be gifted this triple kill onto the Lulu, and Goldfish Gaming are not going down without a fight. And Kaiser, I don't. Where was he in that team fight?
Yeah, I mean that's the $1 million question. Definitely was not killing people, I can tell you that. But you know, so Goldfish Gaming showing major signs of life in that fight, but also crucially, Kassadin not there, not available for, you know, the huge amount of damage that he can pump out right now with that tier. Fully stacked, 2 items completed, including Azanya's Hourglass. So, you know, without him there, that's a lot of the damage missing. But with a triple kill getting onto Okami there, we saw how, you know, you doubted it. And I was right there with you, Redacted. We kind of doubted Okami being able to compete in that 1v1 side lane against Kassadin. But he could do it. Now he's got 3 additional kills, and he's going to be able to do it a heck of a lot better.
He just has to worry about the Zanyas, though. He has to bait out that Zanyas, unfortunately. So that would be his main concern. When fighting the Kassadin in the side lane. Speaking of Kassadin, he's level 12. Vigar also has 138 stacks. So you know, both of these scaling champions are they're doing pretty well. I'm not really a Vigar aficionado, so I don't know if 130 what did I say, 138 stacks in 20 minutes is good. Maybe Elsa, maybe you can give me some info. Oh, never mind, it's Mozzie sneaks behind Archon here, and it looks like they will be able to take out the top laner of Horizon Gaming. And I wanted to say earlier, due to all the focus they were giving the Akshan, I thought that was the best way for Goldfish to get back into the game here, and they are proving me right currently. As Pina gets the goo down, Chomper's root the Singed in place. He's getting kited out by the Jinx. The Wild Growth to buff up the Jinx and ensure she lives. Hook goes wide, but Goldfish Gaming, they are not done, as they want this mid turret. They summon the Rift Herald here to get the damage down onto it. Will they be able to secure it? Event Horizon comes out from dirt there as they get the goo and the root onto Adapt. They will be able to secure his life. Yone using the ultimate there, but Jinx lives. Kaiser, who is not here to help his team. He Rift walks away, but he hits the wall?
Yeah, and 2 charges coming out from a Rift Herald there from Goldfish Gaming, where they arguably could have been stopped at 1 turret. They're not done, though, continuing to push through the mid lane, but Kaiser
on the side here, looking for a good flank as Mozzie just runs down to Sirius there. Kaiser using the Zanyas there to secure his life just a bit longer. Riftwalk, oh my goodness, is Kaiser, but Akshan gets a kill back for his team as well as he uses the comeuppance there as Dirt, you need to go home. Dirt, go home. Dirt, go home. Dirt, go home.
Here comes Akshan.
Akshan's creeping.
Oh, what? Wait, what killed him? Wait, a minion? I did not even see the minion auto attack.
Silly Lulu. I was gonna call him stupid, but I don't know him, so I'm not gonna do him like that. But you're silly, Lulu. You should have went home too. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, not going to be super impactful, I guess, that the Lulu ends up going down, but just kind of indicative of how chaotic this game has been. And we talked about a little bit about how earlier in the game the gold lead was, you know, larger than it was during game 1 at really any point except the end. Look at it now, you know, still a little bit of a gold lead for Horizon, who's been ahead, but not super substantial, and it's Dirt being the beneficiary of the 1k gold shutdown, bonking Kassadin on the head with that primordial burst.
That was so funny. I didn't expect him to actually kill him with that primordial burst there. I don't know how much health he had left, but I thought he had enough to the point where it was like, okay, I don't think he could kill him with the ultimate there, but I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's definitely starting to get stacked up there. It looks like it does like 1,300 up to 1,300 damage depending on max health, and Kaiser was sitting pretty low, so it does start to get tense to this point of the game where I criticize Dirt's. I'm gonna stop talking.
Hold that thought. There is Lou Adapt using the stun onto Light Genesis there. We have TP coming out from Peanut, and we're gonna have ourselves another fight for this neutral objective. It is a Cloud Soul, and we forgot to talk about that earlier. Okay, we see a flank coming from these. Kaiser is hiding. They don't spot him out. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know if he should have done that just yet, because now they know you're behind them. As he's charging up that Rift Walk there, Light Genesis misses the hook. Kaiser Uwu is corralling the side of Goldfish Gaming away as we see the Event Horizon come out. Adapt will be taken out as Okami was polymorph. They body block for him, but this Drake is gonna go over. Nope, it's not going over to Horizon Gaming just yet, as Goldfish still want to fight for it. Their jungler is still alive, but yeah, so they should be able to fight for this pretty decently. They have their jungler while Horizon does not. But Kaiser is so scary, and the Jinx is still alive, so. Oh, so Kami misses the knock up there. Kaiser Uwu is waiting by his soul so that way he can fight the Yone 1v1. They decide, you know what? You can take the Drake. We just want Kaiser. As he uses the Zanya here to secure his life, shutdown going over to Peanut as Goldfish Gaming give up the Drake, but they get the kill onto the Kassadin instead and get some more gold in their pocket and bring the gold lead back to even.
Yeah, and Decerys didn't end up dying in that fight, but I think that slowly and surely here, Peanut is starting to become actually a quiet menace here from
Yes, he is.
Goldfish getting onto that.
And he has no mythic.
Once he, once he gets onto that Jinx, there's really nothing he can do. And speaking of that,
we're not done here. As Mozzie catches out the Jinx, and yes, that should be a kill gifted over. Thank you. Please give it to one of the carries. It's given to Dirt, and he's now on a killing spree. But we're not done. As Ripped here, onslaught of shadows onto a deck, and he's gonna be taken out next. That should be Baron given over to Goldfish Gaming. Oh my God, this game is giving us everything we have wanted from both of these matchups. And thank you, Goldfish, for not throwing the game and regaining your composure as they look to secure this Baron here. As Peanut is just playing goalkeeper. Kaiser Uwu is here though. He does not want to give this up without a fight. As he's charging up the Riftwalker there, Goo comes out from the Peanut and the ultimate from Okami. They take out Kaiser Uwu. Archon using the heroic swing to try and secure some distance between himself and Singe. It's not enough. As the Rylai's and the Flip come out, they take out the Akshan, and Goldfish are now gonna try and take command of this game.
Oh God! Is there a sound more annoying than when you're against Singed and you get behind and then you just hear
the laugh?
and just Archon just absolutely nowhere to go. He's got 2 levels down at this point, and what was supposed to be this super strong lane bully pick in the Akshan has not paid off.
What did I say?
You said right away, Redact, you said I don't like this this pick, and obviously Horizon should be hiring you. Teleport
coming out from Peanut though, but the choppers will delay him from getting any distance covered. But Mozzie using the onslaught of shadows, they're onto the Lulu. They want to take out this support because I'm sure they're annoyed with the polymorph and whatnot. As Mozzie there running towards, actually, you know what? Dirt just blows up the Lulu, but he's blown up as well as the Sirius here. And Kaiser are now fighting for their lives. Kaiser's running away, but this kill should be gifted over to Mozzie. Or Light Genesis, maybe. He's going to try and trade it back. Light Genesis, run away. Don't lose your Baron buff. Good boy. The Sirius is now out of position. What is this fiesta? What is going on right now? As Peanut just solo kills the Jinx. Archon looks to be next. And Horizon Gaming, did you just throw the game?
Yeah, and I don't think that they're going to quite be able to end, but they certainly are able to push through here. Might be able to pick up the inhibitor turret. Not sure, but either way, yeah, this game has been absolutely flipped on its head. Is a gold lead of almost 4K now for Goldfish Gaming, as it looks like they will pick up this turret. Not sure if they'll be able to get the inhib after. It's really close, but Okami also trying to push top lane.
They're gonna go for it. They need some pressure on the map. They want to greed for it. And I don't think, I don't think Horizon want to necessarily risk the game if they lose this fight. But they won't.
And Kaiser just putting us on an emotional roller coaster during this game, dying early, picking up all those kills that were handed over to him by the team.
Yeah.
And now, if I'm being completely honest, has been kind of disappointing with what he's been able to do with the resources that have been afforded to him on this strong scaling Kassadin. We're counting levels 14, so still not, full power for Kassadin, but not looking like he's been able to do as much damage as he needs to take his team over the line here. It's not over, though. Not even close.
It's not over, but no, you absolutely... I mean, Twitch chat is saying it, we're saying it. Kaiser he did not capitalize on his mid-game gold infusion that well at all. Like we saw at the Drake fight, I mean, yeah, they got the Drake, but he shouldn't have exposed himself that early. They didn't know he was there. He could have came and obliterated them in that Drake fight if he didn't expose himself too early. So Kaiser really needs to mind his positioning and get more creative with these flanks. But the Sirius and Bravo here are chasing down Peanut. Rocket's coming out. And he's going to walk away.
Interesting, though, when
we're not done. We're not done. Archon getting picked on here. Hook comes out from Light Genesis, and they will secure the kill onto the top laner there. And I think, are they just going to try and push for the Nexus turret? Or inhib turrets from here? Oh, TP coming out from Peanut. Goldfish Gaming are looking for the end. They do not want to wait any longer, but Vigar is not here yet. But it does not matter because it still will be a 4v5 in their favor. And okay, that was. I don't want to say that's a wasted teleport because now they're walking back to Drake, but
No, I think I agree with you. I think it's an unnecessary use of it.
yeah.
They definitely could have just backed off. They know that there was
Sensei's bot. Let him split while y'all go get Drake.
Right. Yeah. No. There was three members in the bot lane for Horizon there, but if you're Peanut, you know that they're going to be forced to recall because of your team pushing through mid. So now with this dragon up, it looks like they're just going to task Mossy with taking it alone.
Oh, Drake gets the event Horizon route onto Kaiser. Ooh, he's gonna have to use lasagnas there to secure his life, and they're not gonna try and take it any further. Oh, damn it! I wanted them to blow him up. His ultimate was up. Oh, they could have tried to kill him.
I mean, Zanya's is a fairly long cooldown though, still. So this dragon will eventually be finished off here by Mossy, but does give a little bit of a window where that Kassadin has more vulnerability. So will be more turret gold going into the hands of Goldfish, who continue to expand their advantage. And we thought that, we were saying after game one, good game. This is what we want to see. The game two is blowing it out of the water for me.
Yeah, this game two is nuts right now because, initially if you cut and we have a pause here, and we're gonna have to.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a tech issue, they said, for Destrus, so not sure exactly what that means, but hopefully not anything too severe. But to speak a little bit more about Destrus, who I've spoken very highly of throughout this series, definitely a very strong AD carry player, but got the jinx. They invested their first pick in this on blue side redacted, but though he has been able to pick up 6 kills. The positioning from Destrus has not been, it's been far from ideal, honestly. I feel for him playing against something like a Singe that can just kind of run into your face. But, we saw a few minutes ago him getting caught out and just kind of like using his flash and sort of a panic moment there. And these are the small sort of micro decisions that if you want to be competitive against the best in these leagues, you're not going to be able to make. But back into the game now, thankfully just a short break, and the Baron is going to be up in just 28 seconds. Now the classic spectator, the classic spectator lag after the pause. It wouldn't be a game in CCS without the spectator, the spectator bugs here.
For a second, I thought it was my computer.
No, it'll start back up in a second. Yeah, it's just they just like to make our jobs interesting, So
integrity.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we're back into it again. Look at that bottom side of the map. 4 pink wards laid down by Goldfish. They're going to transition their vision onto the top side now that Baron's up, but that is, really important for them being able to win these fights, especially in the context of being able to know where this Kassadin is and protect the Vigar as well as the Yone from these potential
I just also
fights.
want to say, Elsa, that Mossy definitely turned it around because throughout the mid game, it looked like he was inting, He was taking some bad trades, he was getting caught out, but he's definitely turned it around. 11, 5, and 12 now. Oh my goodness, his scoreline is phenomenal for someone that looked like he was running it down in the mid game. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, right here, Horizon's forced to make a decision. Look at Hokami. He's pushing in on the bottom lane, already on the inhibitor.
Yeah, already on the inhibitor here as Kaiser is just running down this threshold. He will be able to secure the life up to life. Oh my goodness, he almost blows up dirt. Gets the ignite onto the Vigar there. He does get the double kill. Mossy using the outside of shadows there to get into the backline of Horizon Gaming. Goldfish are still alive. They are still here. Okami is still alive, but Horizon get the Baron. Who's still left for them? Bravo and Kaiser are still left. Bravo flashes away. He's trying to run away and take the Baron home with him. He would not be able to do so as his life is taken as well. And it's said that Yone got a double kill. When did he kill the Viego? I didn't see that, but
yeah, it looked like
what a
when
fight.
He got in the pit. And that actually ended up being super, super close to the smite. I think I saw a little bit what happened there, because at first Adapt left the pit and then Mossy dove in with the onslaught of shadows, and I thought he was going to be able to secure it with the smite, but clearly Adaptive able to stay close enough in range to be able to get the smite off, as he was the one to secure the Baron. But with that said, it is only Kaiser who's going to be wearing that Baron buff. Kaiser, though, is going to be the
that's all you need.
He's the one who's going to be split pushing, right? The biggest beneficiary of the Baron by far. But Okami, in the meantime, was able to teleport back down to assist the team, but only after taking down that inhib in the bottom lane. And mid lane inhib is one thing, Redacted, but once we start to get some of these side lane inhibitors down, that's when you can split the map a little bit easier and take advantage of that super minion pressure.
Yeah, absolutely taking advantage of super minion pressure, as Goldfish Gaming are now in position to pressure this mid lane as they look to secure this mid lane inhibitor once again. Mozzie heal, oh my goodness, he's just horsey go vroom as he gets the onslaught of shadows. Oh my goodness, so unbound from Okami here onto the back line of the Sirius there, but the Jinx is still alive. The Jinx is still firing. Dirt gets the primordial burst onto Adapt. Goldfish Gaming are still here. Archon's Pea Shooter does nothing as Okami gets the kill onto the Sirius there, and it looks like Goldfish are going to take game 2.
Yeah, Goldfish pushing in on the Nexus. It looked good with the front-to-back team fight for a second.
When did Kaiser even die?
Yeah, it's a good question. For a second, it looked like Desterus might be able to wipe the fight, but not able to, as Archon trying to stop this. But the inevitable is going to occur.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a game 3. Goldfish take game 2.
Woo! And it's everything we wanted. If there's any series you want to see go to game 3, it's this one. First place against second place. Whoever comes through as the victor, gonna be considered the best team in this Thursday CCS conference, and it's all coming down to that last one.
For Twitch chat, I'm gonna take a picture of the kill score so that way I can look at the damage.
There we go. Innovation.
Right. Yeah, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. When Riot gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? Oh, my stats chart isn't working now. Fun. All right.
Yeah, awesome.
Fun. But I think we can assume that the Vigar and Yone, and probably, actually, I don't know. Probably the Vigar, Yone, and Hecarim did like the most damage on that team, right? Cinch probably was a quiet damage dealer.
Yeah, really, I felt like it was pretty balanced. I mean, we can't see the charts, but I will say that it was a pretty balanced approach coming from Goldfish, which is interesting given that normally they're a team who heavily relies on their mid jungle to do the majority of the damage. Now, with that said, obviously Okami and Mossy both had some awesome moments in this game, but was impressed by the way that Dirt was able to turn things around. Looked like he was struggling on the Vigar, not looking quite as polished as he normally does, but got that 1k gold shutdown onto Kaiser and really just took off running from there.
Yeah, oh my goodness, this was such an insane game. Like, this series is honestly giving us everything we wanted from our first and second place teams right now. And just, man, we initially, once again, it looked like, okay, the early game was in Horizon's grasp. They had it. Kaiser was like 7-2 with like a 300 gold bounty, and it looked like, okay, Kassadin is ready to take over the game. He just has to get more levels and just be a bit more mindful of his positioning and whatnot. And then it was his. But I think you mentioned this earlier, Elsa, that some people in the league have kind of pointed out that Kaiser, he does play the more supportive facilitator mid laners, and he doesn't have the mechanics. He doesn't have the hands to take it down when it needs to be done in the 1v1 matchup. And that is kind of true. I mean, his macro got exposed a little bit. His mechanics got exposed a little bit. So I don't think we're going to see a Kassadin game from Kaiser again. I think we might see another Orianna or more facilitator mage game coming out for him. But I could be wrong.
It could be wrong, but I definitely think that Kaiser is probably off the Cassidy duty from now on. And I think that, it's hard to say whether this was, Kaiser's call or sort of the Horizon team as a whole. But one of the problems for me was that we saw late in the game, that Kaiser was spending a lot of his time trying to be split pushing like up in the top lane. And while Cassidy does have that split push pressure, this time Goldfish learned from their mistakes during game one and brought enough engage that they could really force the issue when they saw Cassidy wasn't grouped with the team. So sure,
Yep.
Cassidy is a good split pusher, but given the percentage of the resources that were dedicated towards him, they just didn't have the damage to get it done without that Cassidy. Now, shout out to No Attack in the Twitch chat pointing out for us that Decerys did in fact have the most damage in the game on the Jinx. But with that being said, Peanut in particular, just like keeping a leash on this Jinx, always in her face, always forcing her to be running away instead of, aggressively moving forward with those rockets. And just amazing comeback by Goldfish Gaming. They've certainly
Oh,
shown themselves capable of doing
definitely.
that. And I mean, I don't know. All I have left to say really is bring on game three.
And they probably heard us low key, or more specifically you, when you had pointed out initially in game one that they haven't really had a chance to fight back from a position of a disadvantage yeah, basically a position of disadvantage with goal deficit and whatnot. And once they had a goal deficit again in game two, but this time they were able to pull themselves up and then accelerate forward and take control of the game, which is something we really wanted to see in game one, but it didn't happen. But in game two, they made damn sure well that that game was going in their way. Mozzie put the team on his back, and he allowed Peanut and everyone else to just revel in the chaos that he created and blow up the side of Horizon Gaming. And I do also want to point out that I know we're giving Kaiser a lot of flack because he was on the Cassidy, which is such a a very pivotal champion and like something that everyone wants to focus on. But I do want to point
Mhm.
out that the series as well was caught out quite a few times. Like he was up in his lane after the inhibitor was down farming, which that is fine, but remember you're Jinx. You need the buddy system when it gets to these late game situations here. You can't go out into the wild rift by yourself when there's a hacker room that can go really fast and just take you out. So just Decerys definitely needs to mind his positioning and um his his awareness come those late game adventures.
Yeah, I agree. Not really. To me, it was a little bit out of character for Decerys, who has looked really good on this Jinx, favoring these immobile, scaling carries, and has been able to be successful on them in the past. So this time, just not really the case. And that is a tough thing if you're Horizon, because they invested the first pick in that Jinx. It doesn't end up really working out for them. With that being said, I don't think it was the problem with their team
Oh,
composition. It was more
definitely
the way
not.
that it was executed. But
Mm-hmm.
still, it kind of it brings into question for Horizon if it's worth putting that much emphasis on picking the champion early in the draft.
And one last thing before we cut to break, like I said, Elsa, Akshan has not won a game yet, so we're not gonna see him again either. We're
Yeah, we don't
definitely
need
not
to talk
seeing
about
him.
the Akshan anymore. That was it's bad. Archon, he's just gonna forget that one. He's back to the drawing board, I think.
Yeah, probably back to tanks or some of his other pocket picks and whatnot. But we will have to find out what both of these teams will pick for our final game of the night. But we're going to take it to a short break as we're preparing for draft. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, for Game 3 of Goldfish Gaming versus Horizon Gaming. This is the final game of this night for this series. There is no Game 5 here, only a best of 3. Whoever takes this takes home the glory, takes home the dubs, and, of course, the most important thing, bragging rights.
Heck yeah, bragging rights indeed. And I think also just sort of the confidence to know for both of these teams going into the playoffs that they really are the team to beat, right? Anything can happen, as we saw last week with Sensei Squad, certainly doesn't guarantee first place for either of
I
these
think we can
teams.
confirm that Horizon were not on their game, and that series was now. I don't want to call it a fluke to discredit Sensei Squad, but Horizon was not on their game. That's
yes, no, agreed. Right, everybody has off days, but doesn't seem to be one of those for either of these teams right now. As pretty much every player in this game has had some pretty impressive moments, and also maybe some disappointing ones. But as we start to get into these picks and bans, pretty similar for both teams. Trundle this time going to be taken off the board on the blue side for Goldfish Gaming, alongside the Volibear, which is a little bit interesting. Trundle makes sense for me because it's so strong into the tanks that Peanut's always going to bring, so they just want to deny that one away. But Volibear, maybe taking it away from Adapt, who did struggle a lot more in game 2. We didn't talk about that very much. In game 1, he came in replacement, first time playing on the stage with this team, and looked very clean doing so. Not so much in game 2, as Mossy was kind of imposing his will all across the map. Dying a couple times in the process, but really keeping up that tempo. And, speaking of that tempo that he was able to bring in game 2, he's going to be right back on the horse in game 3.
Absolutely. Hacker Room first side B1 pick for Goldfish Gaming, and Mozzie definitely what initially looked like a shaky performance in the early to mid game came back to storm through the later half of the game to carry his team to victory, as Horizon also now secure the Kaiza, and we'll see what they pick next year. But also, I wanted to talk about these bans just a little bit more, especially that's a Zach cover.
Yeah, and Zach,
oh my God, they locked the Zach in.
So Zach locked in. Zach is the third most played jungler for Adapt, who he's got Viego, he's got Diana, third one on that tier who he's got a lot of games on. Is this Zach? Zach, not a champion that we see a ton, but it is something that I'm actually a pretty big fan of. He has really unconventional ganking angles, really screws with the enemy team's ability to put down vision. But Goldfish Gaming, though, locking in this Thresh and probably the Vigar to go alongside it again. It worked for them last game, even though there was a slow start. So not really seeing a reason to change it up. And I do want to highlight Thresh. Three games of Thresh for Lights Genesis, every single one, and Thresh in particular, huge counter to this Zach. Definitely got to have that skill on Thresh to be able to hit the flay at the right time. But if you can, it makes the life of this flinging blob champion a lot harder. But there you go.
Oh my goodness, this draft is giving me so much right now, and the Renata is picked up again for Horizon Gaming, which makes sense. You're gonna have a Hacker Room diving into you, a Thresh semi, in your face. And who knows what else they have from the side of Goldfish Gaming that they'll draft out here. So the Renata is a good pickup there for Horizon Gaming, as they do want to ensure this Kaiser is protected and has enough peel while she lays down the Void Seekers and a Cathian Rain there. And we see the Singe backed on the ban list here. Or I just said, no Singe. No,
Yeah,
we
they
don't
don't want
want
to
to.
deal with it. They don't want to deal with that again. It's such a specific play style, play pattern, that if you're not used to playing against it, it can be really, really tricky. And I think both teams probably just going to look to take away top laners from the opposing side. Cho'Gath
Cho'Gath
certainly.
ban.
Yeah, Cho'Gath was raising hell there in game one, and so they definitely don't want to deal with that one again. We'll be interested to see what Horizon wants to take here. Maybe the Ornn or Gragas or Poppy. Poppy was the choice in game one with the loss for Goldfish. So we'll see. Could go outside of that as well. But I expect it to be one of those. And looking at this composition so far from Horizon, with the Zac being paired alongside the Renata Glosk, the amount of long range engage
Yes,
that they have, is it
yes.
will actually be the Yone. But the amount of long range engage coming out from Horizon is really significant. And I think it's going to make that Vigar feel a lot more concerned than he was last game about being, taken down from far away.
Yeah, definitely indeed. As we see the Yone band and the Vex band, so two both long range champions that definitely want to get access to that backline quickly and blow them up. So that's taken off the table as we see an Ornn pick up for Horizon Gaming here. Oh my goodness! So they are saving their mid lane for a counter pick, and the Goldfish hovering the Scion. Are we getting? Oh, are we going back to season 5? Take meta. Let's do it. Let's do it. Team fight. Wait, Shen's still good. Shen's still good. Okay, we got the Shen locked in. Let's
Yeah,
go.
so with the Shen, I don't think that this is something that we've seen from Peanut so far. Only played, I think, about 5 champions. But it, again, fits right into the wheelhouse. And we thought Akshan was done. We thought we weren't
No.
going to see any more Akshan.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm cool. I'm cool with
interesting.
Graves. I'm cool with Graves over Akshan.
Okay, so
Wait, but where is he going?
yeah,
Wait, what?
It's exactly what I was just going to say. We'll have to see what Horizon wants to do here, but there's a lot of flex options right now. Well,
It can't be. It couldn't be Graves ADC, right?
yeah, I mean, actually, at first I was going to say there's a lot of flex options. Then I realized that obviously the Shen not going to go to support. And ooh, Vladimir is something that we haven't talked about whatsoever in this draft. But both of these mid laners, both Kaiser and Okami, huge Vladimir players. It's by far the most played for both of them on their solo queue accounts. This is their main. So exciting to see Kaiser, come up with this pick when everything's on the line, going back to the tried and true, this Vladimir that he knows really, really well. But on the other side, Okami, as a Vladimir player himself, is gonna know the matchup inside and out, so does have that advantage as well. And yeah, I mean, thinking a little bit more here, I mean, it must just be the Graves into the mid lane, I guess.
Which,
And
I
what
mean,
else would
that's
it
not.
be?
That's.
It's not gonna be Graves bot.
Yeah. I mean, we'll find out here shortly in client draft, but it could be Graves bot, but I do see the Graves going mid lane, and so that means Okami will be piloting it, and he will be against the Vladimir, right? Yeah, because Orange definitely going top.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, Zac could even be support, and we could see Orange jungle, right?
I mean, yeah, if they really wanted to get nuts.
But Ronaldo will more than likely be support. Orange should be top. We should see Vlad in the mid lane with Kaiser being the ADC. The Goldfish Gaming squad, though, Shen should more than likely be that top laner. While we see Graves. I'm gonna call Graves in the mid lane now, but I would not be surprised if we saw Graves ADC as well. So I'm just gonna call that out there.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about Graves into Vladimir, actually, it's Graves mid was something that was a little bit more popular towards the end of, well, kind of around the summer. So sort of the end of last season. Something that one of the best teams in CCS last year, Lost Chapter, we saw their mid laner Shin Yuna did like to pull this one out as well. And I've played a good amount of Graves mid, have definitely played against the Vladimir. That is a matchup in which I think Vladimir outscales really, really heavily, especially once you start to kind of get into some of those side lane situations. So, we'll see what Okami can do. Definitely has some stronger wave clear, at least early on. So maybe we'll be able to shove up the lane and potentially help Mossy punish this Zac, who does have a really weak clear early on in the jungle.
This is so weird to me. Like, this is such a weird draft on Goldfish draft is more weird to me than Horizons, because like Horizons, I'm just like, okay, Vlad, we haven't seen him much, but it's not a surprise to see him top or mid. But the Graves mid with the Shen pick, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about. I don't know how I'm feeling about this Graves. I don't know why it's bothering me so much to see Graves mid.
Yeah, I mean, it's not typically what we see, and also just kind of the nature of Graves right now. Hullbreaker now was finally nerfed for range champions, so not in
Exactly
that
that
sort of
too.
meta anymore. So not the strongest itemization. We'll see what he decides to go. A lot of the Graves mid did like to go for that early the early armor penetration or lethality rather sort of build. So we'll see if that's what Okami chooses to go. Immortal Shield Bow is sort of the other option for the kind of more DPS sort of sustain build. I don't well, I mean, honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, we'll really have to see what is in the head of Goldfish Gaming. But what sticks out to me, Hecarim Shen, extremely strong
I was
combination.
going to talk about that.
Yeah, what I think was sort of missing in large part in game one for Goldfish Gaming against Kaisa in particular was an inability to dive onto the backline and pick up Decerus early on in the fight. But that should be fairly addressed by the Hecarim and the Shen
Or
and
at
the
least
dive
give the
potential
Hecarim
that
some
they
more
have.
survivability with the
Right.
Shen shield coming out from the
Yep.
Stand United there.
Yeah. Avoid getting one shot for sure when he dives into the backline.
Absolutely, because yeah, one shot indeed will be the name of the game when we get to the late game. Because we all know what Vlad late game damage does. The oh my goodness, I don't even remember the name of his ultimate there because it's been so long. I'm gonna have to look that up here after we go to break because I haven't seen Vladimir in like ages. But the Vladimir scaling, the Kaiser scaling, um, and yeah, I'm very hyped, but I'm also very nervous for Goldfish because if they win with this composition, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, they were so five head, right? Like, oh my god, Goldfish were so good. Like, I can't believe they did that." But if they lose, the memes,
Yeah, I
the
think that
memes.
yeah, I think you do really well to point out the scaling because for me the onus is on Goldfish here to try to make some sort of early lead for themselves
That too.
between the
Yup.
Vladimir, the Kaisa, and then Ornn and Zac, while they don't scale in terms of damage
Orange
in the same
scales.
way that these other champions do. There's the ornaments,
Yeah.
but then on top of that, also they're gonna get super super tanky, and who on Goldfish Gaming later in the game is going to be able to rip through this Zac and Ornn, and even the Vladimir to a large extent. Not really anyone. Dirt is going to provide that large amount of burst with the Vigar, but again, game one, criticize
You
Goldfish
know,
Gaming for not having the DPS to finish it off, and it might end up being the case in game two if they can't get ahead.
and Yasuo was open. I just realized I don't know if Okami plays Yasuo. I'm not too familiar with his champ pool, but I just feel like there are more shredder type champions than the 2 to 3 um, shots you get from the Grave Shotgun there. So I just that pick to me, I feel like I don't want to say it will make or break the game, but it will definitely define a lot of how that mid lane for the side of Goldfish will definitely define how the rest of their tempo is played. So if he gets ahead, oh, it's great. But if he's behind, it's gonna be a bit tough because Graves and Vigar are the main damage dealers. Now, that is not to say that Mossy will not be dealing damage on this horse, but he's more to create chaos and havoc while the Graves and Vigar clean everything up and whatnot. But we will have to find out here shortly as we are loading into Summoner's Rift. So we're going to take a short break as we'll be right back for Game 3 of Goldfish versus Horizon. Stay right there and don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, for Game 3 of the final game of the series, Horizon Gaming versus Goldfish Gaming. And Elsa, what do we see with Summoners and Ruins? Anything weird, anything strange, anything out of the ordinary?
Not necessarily anything out of the ordinary. Something that I noticed during game one that we had so much action that I didn't even get to touch on it is Dirt, for the second game in a row, does opt towards the electrocute here. And so that's kind of an interesting choice, not typical of what we see on a Vigar. Usually we see something like the Predator on Vigar just because he's a champion that scales. His damage scales naturally so strong. He doesn't really need that one additional tick of damage.
He
Doesn't
wants
make that
all
much
the
of a
burst
difference.
damage. He's being greedy.
Right, exactly. Is a little bit of a greedy choice. Got away with it in the first game, but doesn't necessarily add anything. So we'll see if he gets away with it again in game 2. And the other thing that I want to point out, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Elsa, I know we talked about, we thought we would see Kaiser on more facilitator mid laners, but he's on Vladimir. So that's another, I don't want to say mechanic-based champion, but it's not really a facilitator.
Yeah,
so they're trusting their mid laner here. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They are trusting their mid laner after kind of a rough game. But, a couple of things. First, I think that that's pretty critical to instill confidence in him, right? You don't want to, after, one bad, not even a bad performance, after a performance where he maybe could have done more, you don't want to kill your player's confidence by taking them off of having that agency. And the karma was banned away again from him anyways in this second game. But I think getting him on this comfort pick in the Vladimir makes a lot of sense for me, as the Q will go wide from Okami. And, you talked about it as well in the champ select, being skeptical of this Graves. I would say in general, Goldfish Gaming, they live by Okami, they die by Okami. This is, sort of where they, Mossy and Okami, both are carries for this squad for sure. But Okami's the one who really gets the most priority in terms of picks. It's Archon doing a lot of damage here top. And, in game 1, we saw Archon and Peanut going at each other with the tanks, and it really was Archon coming out on top with the Cho'Gath. So I like what Horizon Gaming is doing here in game 2, going back to that tank v tank matchup, because it seemed to benefit them in their victory.
Yeah, definitely. It benefited Archon in the wet noodle fight matchup indeed. Yep. As we had our 2-hour 1v1 that we saw up there, that eventually Archon did kill the Poppy a few times. Or actually, he solo killed him once in that game 1 there, I believe. The other few times he killed him was with the help of Adapt there on the Hecarim, I believe. But we see Mozzie here already putting the fear of God into the Horizon Gaming bot lane here, as he's just giving them some pressure, letting his presence be felt, as Peanut's using the Spirit's Refuge there and misses with the dash there, Shadow Dash. Kaiser using the pool there to secure himself some distance and just ensure that he is not taken out from Mozzie and Okami there. And Renata roamed up as well, just to...
Okami might not know. Well, he's okay.
Oh, we have a bunch of pinks coming out at the Drake pit already. It looks like we're gonna have ourselves a little fight here. Is Light Genesis now looks to be out of position, or is Jaceres out of position instead? Oh, Event Horizon comes out, and Light Genesis, I'm sorry, Jaceres has nowhere to run, but we get the flash coming out from Adapt here, the lantern from Mozzie to ensure he lives a little bit longer, but now the Vigar is all alone, and he's gonna be given over as tribute to the side of the Horizon Gaming squad. First blood for Jaceres. Am I saying that right? Is it Jaceres?
I think Deceres or Jaceres.
Deceres, there we go.
Bravo tried to coach me up on how to say his name before the game, but clearly I was not listening close enough. But yeah, no, Dirt ends up being the one caught there, but really it's... Oh.
And we're not done with the action here as... he missed it. He missed.
He walks out. Very casual from Okami. But it is Light's Genesis being the one to sort of initiate that, as it looks like Goldfish is the ones going on the offensive originally as they step into that river. But then Light's Genesis, he misses the fillet. onto the Kaisa, and then after that, not able to hit the hook either, with Adapt able to come over the wall and provide that additional CC. So Dirt ends up being the one dying, but not necessarily his fault with what was happening there. And Desirus, even though he gets caught out by the cage, still able to keep himself alive. So a kill early on down to the Kaisa was part of the winning formula for Horizon in game 1, and they're on that same road in game 3.
And also, once again, as right now, we see no tier coming out for Desirus here, so that has me thinking we might get the Kraken Slayer build once again.
Yeah, probably gonna want that tank busting build, for the second time, because Shen, once again, we also see the hacker room building some tank stats most likely. So and again, if it's not broken, no need to fix it. Building the serrated Dirk as well early on does provide just a big power spike before you reach that first item. And speaking of the serrated Dirk, will be Okami picking that one up in the mid lane as well. So,
and Okami's going even right now with Kaiser, which is, typically not what you see in the melee versus ranged matchup. Or, I'm sorry, but I guess they're both ranged.
Graves has sword range, so I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that Graves actually does okay early here. Yeah, I start to get concerned after level 6 when Kaiser's going to have access to a lot more healing with that Hemo Plague available. So maybe looking for Okami to look towards some sort of healing reduction here early on. As Wet Noodle again, the return of the Wet Noodles.
Oh my god! And you said something that I have forgotten. Hold that thought though, as Desirus is gonna have to flash out away from the event horizon, as Mozzie was here to gank the bot lane of Horizon Gaming, but no kills will be given over as Archon and Peanut. Wet Noodle fight, it may be indeed, but someone eventually will go down and trigger that rigor mortis and become a stiff noodle into the grave. But neither side going there just yet. We have the Stand United coming out from Peanut here onto Kaiser Uwu to help out his mid laner. Event Horizon coming out to corral the Zac here, but he has the passive active. Bravo's gonna try and walk out. Peanut and Okami run down the Renata there, and did Graves just flash to try and get that kill? Did he really flash? And his bot laner Dirt still KS'd him?
I mean, you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and just say, he was really afraid that Adapt would have the E available when he came back from the blob, says Zac might have been able to jump himself to safety. But with that being said, fairly unlikely, given how low he would have been. But Kaiser caught recalling.
Mozzie BM with the emotes here. You love it. Ooh, Kaiser though.
I mean, so Kaiser is getting a lot of damage down there, and he's going to push in the wave, but that is pretty annoying for his recall to be canceled, because now it will be Okami able to push back, and they're still up here, whapping.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Orin with the call of the Forge got flash out from Peanut here, and he will secure his life. And he's gonna recall, but Adapt is roaming up here. He will be spotted out on their control ward. We should see some pings. Oh no, he didn't back. Why didn't he complete his back?
Yeah, he is gonna try to sit on this turret. Mozzie's on the bottom side of the map, so he has no support here. Trying to get away from this gank. Call of the Forge God already has been used, but Desirus.
Flay hook out from Light Genesis here. Desirus getting a bit aggressive onto the Thresh here. Thresh will have to flash out to ensure that the Void Seeker does not pop him. And Bravo now being corralled by this Event Horizon. W coming out from Dirt there. And yep, that kill's going to be given over to Dirt. But Light Genesis almost taken out as well as Okami Hayazo here fighting with Kaiser Uwu. End of the line coming out. Oh my goodness. He barely lives. And he didn't even trigger his Hemo Plague yet.
He did not, and Zygon right now is taking the Gromp. We'll see if he tries to maybe try to make some kind of move towards mid, or if he's still gonna maybe look to dive top. It has been quite a while that Peanut's been allowed to just sit here and grab the CS, but now he's gonna go
dash
forward.
Out from Peanut with the Twilight Assault, ensuring that most of Archon's abilities are negated here. Oh, that grasp proc! Oh my goodness! Mozzie and Okami Hayazo there and not done. Oh, Mozzie, I think you got a bit too aggressive there. We saw the Horizon, but the Observer instead was showing us the fight in the top lane, and it looks like the bot lane of Goldfish Gaming were obliterated. Instead, their britches were a little bit too big, and they got a little bit too cocky, and they were justly punished indeed for their cockiness.
So, kind of my read on that situation is that it's likely that Goldfish was aware that Adapt was on the top half of the map and was probably going to be ganking and or diving.
Oh, we are not done. The action is continuing. Stand United out onto the Graves here as Kaiser is going to have to flash. Hook lands from Black Genesis. Ignite coming out, and they gift that kill over to Peanut. Should have went to the Graves, but fair enough.
I mean, at that point, they were just trying to make sure that there was no trade kill back. But as I was saying, I really think that Goldfish wanted to get the counter dive off in the bot lane, anticipating that Peanut would be taken down. But it was just way too greedy trying to go in. Mozzie doesn't have any HP built up at this point. Looks like he's going to go for the build of... getting the Sheen, maybe looking towards the Divine
I don't even know what he's
Sunder.
building right now,
And the Warhammer, maybe looking towards Sunder here. Not exactly sure, but the point is, either way, he's not looking towards health, and just gets popped instantly by the turret. Dirt also ends up going down as well, and we're right back into this situation, Redacted, where Decerus, despite dying early game, to the Vigar will be sitting at 3-1.
Oh my goodness! Did you see that Graves damage though?
Yep.
Oh boy! I mean, you know what? As much trepidation as we had around the Graves pick, I do have to remember that Vladimir was picked into it. Vladimir's not building armor either. He's a mage. He's building damage as well. So it's a damage versus damage matchup. So it's basically they cancel each other out in not in reality, but in terms of like, it's damage v damage. So whoever gets the hand on the person will win the matchup, or not matchup, but fight.
It's definitely a very snowbally matchup, for sure, especially for the Graves, who, once he gets the first item done in this Eclipse that he's opted for, starts to spike in terms of power. I still do think that as Kaiser moves deeper into this game, he will outscale, but there's going to kind of be this fairly extended moment in this mid game where Okami will have the priority, and that is where Goldfish is going to need to punish if they want to take this one home. Checking in on a little bit of the CS, though. Once again, Dirt falling a little bit behind in the bot lane. That didn't end up becoming consequential last game, but certainly could have had Dirt not picked up the, convenient 1k gold shutdown. Into the top lane, though, pretty big lead for Archon, kind of doing what Peanut does, but better with these tank picks so far.
Yeah, definitely indeed. As Archon and Peanut, these top... Who knew tank?
Goldfish bringing it back. Well, and Horizon, but I feel like it's precipitated by Goldfish picking these tanks. But looks like it will be the Dragon spawning again. Goldfish gonna try to make something happen around it.
Yep, Hextech Drake being secured for the side of Goldfish Gaming as Peanut gets the Shadow Dash onto Archon there, who leaves with about 2/8 of his health left. And Rift Hero though being launched for Horizon Gaming as Molly gets the charge onto Adapt. Stand United to protect it. The Onslaught of Shadow misses. And Adapt flashes out. But that doesn't matter. They now want the Vladimir instead. Ignite is taking him down. End of the line secures the kill. And the mid laner of Horizon Gaming is taken as tribute instead.
They are going to be able to trade some turret damage for it. Archon still up there in the top lane, whapping down on that one, and is going to secure the first turret of the game. Dirt is there in the bot lane to defend the turret, but there was some free farm.
Adapt using the elastic slingshot there to harass the mid lane champions as Peanut and Mozzie just bully Archon here. Yeah, he was already out of position after he took that turret, because they were already on the top half of the map there, so quite unfortunate. But I mean, he got the turret at least, right?
Yes, was able to pick up the turret in exchange for his life. probably feels worth it at this point, but nice for Hecarim to be able to pick up the kill there, to be able to try to get towards that first item, which is usually really, really important for Hecarim to be able to complete. Starts to sort of power spike there, especially with the aggressive build coming through from Mozzie. He's going to be able to want to have sort of that one-shot potential that could come through onto something like the Kaisa, but you know, scaling, as we've mentioned over and over again, is still on the side. Is still on the side of Horizon Gaming. We've seen both of the games so far go pretty extended. So I think that Horizon, even though they are a little bit behind right now, I think they got to stay calm. I think they feel pretty happy with where they have Desirus at. And even though Kaiser has been punished a little bit here in the early game, has been able to farm okay, and will inevitably have that scaling potential. As for Zach and Ornn, you know, they both performed fine, but...
Uh-oh. White Genesis gets the hook onto the Renata there, but Adapt uses the electric slingshot to create some disarray and confusion, and what looked like a fight in favor of Goldfish Gaming. Oh, Kami misses his flash, cleanse out from the Kaiser, and she secures the kill into the graves. Mozzie and Shen are fighting the rest of Horizon Gaming by themselves, but they're just getting bullied. Peanut wants to get something back. He will use the flash, gets the kill onto the Renata there, and he knows, oh wait, no, he might live. Light Genesis is here to help out his top laner. They're fighting this, actually. Oh my goodness, Peanut using the dash there and the Shadow Assault. Oh, Dirt's here to back up his top laner. Kaiser lives with a sliver of health. Kaiser is still alive. Dirt wants to pick up the kill. The Dark Matter misses. Kaiser gets it with the Baleful Strike, though, as Peanut started channeling the Stand United to try and save his bot laner, but will not be able to, as Adapt and Archon clean up the top laner instead. I believe that was 3-2 for the side of Horizon Gaming here.
Yeah, and you already, you know, said earlier, Redacted, about how this is kind of a throwback with these tanks that we're seeing in this series, in this game in particular, and I think it's because it's been so long since we've seen tanks as part of the meta. You know, it's been a long time since we've had fights that are so extended.
Since we've had like straight up tank meta, straight up team fight tank meta.
With these team fights that get so far extended by these tanks who just absolutely refuse to die. So definitely always fun to watch that. But you know, after that fight, Horizon has regained the gold advantage, and they're going to put themselves back in the driver's seat.
What's that quote in Game of Thrones that they used to say about like the circle or the wheel or something, about how everything will come back around eventually?
Yeah.
Hey, season 5 is back, baby. I mean, it's maybe it's 2 seasons late, but it's back.
Yeah. It is fun too to kind of see the metas that sort of develop in leagues like this, in these kind of particular matchups based on the strengths of these players. So definitely something that makes teams like Goldfish and Horizon fun to watch.
Ooh, oh my goodness, Flavor Light Genesis interrupts the elastic slingshot. The hook lands onto Adapt, and he will be taken as purchase for his misplay as the hostile takeover just goes wide there. And now Goldfish Gaming look to secure this Cloud Drake here. But Kaiser you are slightly out of position. You need to back up just slightly, and he's doing so because he does not want to be taken as another kill for the Goldfish squad.
Goldfish putting themselves on soul point, which we touched
on. And gold is still even.
Yeah, gold's still even. We touched on how Goldfish needed to be the ones to be pushing their gold advantage early on in the game, as they do ping onto Rift Herald, only 45 seconds left. But, you know, though they haven't been able to extend a significant gold advantage, the Cloud Drake, you know, we love to meme about the Cloud Drake. Cloud Drake is actually one of the strongest options on Hecarim in particular, who gets the AD from the move speed. So I actually think that it's a little bit underrated. A little bit underrated, actually, in this particular situation. We could see an early soul from Goldfish, and it also comes with that control of the map that we saw Horizon have in game 1, where if you're sitting on this soul point, you force the other team to contest every single dragon until it's the Elder.
Absolutely. Yes, surely will be secured for Goldfish Gaming here. And wow, they have had such great objective control over these Drakes, not allowing Horizon, I mean, a single Drake here as Peanut will interrupt the back of Kaiser Uwu and is just getting some friendly harass down onto the Vladimir there. And Peanut knows he won't be able to kill him, but Kaiser Uwu wants some retribution back as he gets the Rocket Belt and the Sanguine or tides there onto the Shen just to get some damage back. And he's gonna back now.
He will be able to back out, but Peanut, we've seen him actually a few times in this series doing a nice job of interrupting his opponent's recalls in order to sort of, stop them from coordinating their rotations as well as they would like. But on the top side here, just Archon so far here to defend.
Light Genesis has been on point with these hooks. Okay, I thought that was about to erupt into something else.
It's okay. I felt the same way.
Oh my
you agree.
goodness.
I mean, he still hit the hook, right? I mean, it would be one thing if, like, you said that and then he missed the hook, but he did hit it, so I'll give you that.
As Adept, they're using the elastic. Oh, and he hits another hook. Do we have a counter as the Event Horizon comes up and Adept's gonna have to blow his flash in order to secure his life? Otherwise, that could have potentially been Baron for them if he died. Is Baron even up? Oh yeah, it's up. It's been a minute now. It's been up for a minute and 26 seconds and counting. So, whew. Elsa, what a game, man. This game 3 is tough.
Yeah, it's just 500 gold separating these two teams, 21 minutes in. And, in a league, I think that in both conferences, everyone can sort of agree that there's been a large gap between some of the best teams and, a lot of the lower teams. We see a lot of these series go 2-0, these massive gold leads that start to accrue really, really early on of, 15K plus. That has not been the case whatsoever tonight. Just speaks to the quality of these teams. And personally, Redacted, I think I could easily see this being the Thursday conference finals matchup. So really, we're just getting a preview right now.
And if that matchup does come to be, we get a 5-game series. So I'd be down for 5 games of this. I would stay up till 2 a.m. for this.
Ooh.
I just put it out there. As we see the flash from Dirk there. Oh, Onslaught of Shadows from Mozzie here. As the Kaiser will have to flash to ensure her life is not taken. And nothing will come from that mid lane skirmish. But now we have, once again, another wet noodle fight between the two tanks in the top lane.
Okay.
Archon, though, looks to get his revenge as he wants the solo kill onto Shin. He's knocking him down. TP, though, coming out from Okami. Oh, my goodness. Orange gonna die. Oh, my. They're all here. Archon have flashing out. Hook barely misses that hitbox. If it was just extended a little bit more. But Archon will walk away with his life. But probably not with this tower. Oh. Deserus, what did we say about Deserus? What did we say about being out of position? Oh, never mind. Hold that thought, as he's not, as the tables have been turned, and Mozzie was the one out of position instead.
Yeah, Mozzie, I think just because he knew that the cleanse and the flash had just been blown by Deserus, feeling confident in himself to be able to go take this 1v1, I think in the world that the Onslaught of Shadows is available, he would be able to easily take that one, but as it stands, he doesn't. And even more importantly, Redacted, look at the timer on the dragon. Yes, Mozzie is going to respawn right around the time that the dragon does, but he needs to be here right now, not in 25 or 30 seconds. And that's just going to be a, it's just the first dragon for Horizon.
Does Goldfish fight for this? They shouldn't, right? They should just give this one. It's only one Drake.
I think so. I think so. Mossie's not going to be able to be here on time. It's a 4v5, but nope.
Oh no. Event Horizon though, oh my goodness, as the hostile takeover, Peanut gets the taunt onto the Kaiser, onto the Renata there. She's taking out Kaiser Uwu is in the backline trying to kill the Graves and the Vigar here, as Vigar is corralling the side of Horizon Gaming with the Event Horizon, but it doesn't matter because they're taken out and the Graves will be cleaned up. Only Shen and Hecarim are left alive, as the Hecarim is now in the bot lane just clearing out the minions. Peanut's gonna run out with his life, and that was such a bad call from Goldfish Gaming here. They should have given that Drake, and now they just gifted over the Baron to Horizon Gaming here. Oh boy.
This is the second time that we've seen something like this from Goldfish Gaming. In game one, we saw something similar with the Baron, where they try to sort of, do this contest at the last second when they're really not able to. And is Mossy going to do that same thing again? Just looked like he
what
wanted
is he doing?
to
Yo,
steal.
Mozzie.
No ult available.
He's doing what we saw in game 2 once again. He has a really good early game. He semi trolls mid game. I think this is semi trolling phase right now. So maybe we're gonna finish the semi trolling mid game phase and we're gonna get back into the carrying late game phase. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
And the game, again, we've said it in every single game. It's not over. It's not over until the Nexus blows up when it comes to these two teams. But it now is the gold lead, about a little over a 3K lead, going over to the side of Horizon. Decerus picks up 2 items, working towards that third item, Phantom Dancer, similar to in the first game. And
also, we got ornaments out too.
Yeah, we got ornaments out, and what I noticed most crucially about that last team fight is this Ornn and Zac are starting to become unmanageable for Goldfish Gaming. They don't have the champions to cut through the amount of tank stats that both of these big beefy boys are going to bring to the table. The Graves damage is going to start to fall off heavily at this point. And we saw Vladimir coming online too, so some of that scaling really starting to be evident. And I think that Goldfish Gaming maybe now pivots to a style that is going to be a little bit more dependent on picks in order to take a team fight. I don't know if they can take a straight up 5v5 at this point.
Yeah, definitely 5v5 probably is not the name of the game for Goldfish Gaming right now, as Horizon Gaming look to secure these tier 3 towers and work their way towards these inhibitor towers here. Kai'Sa is thoroughly online, just needing the Phantom Dancer, but hold that thought though, is Adept Elastic Slingshots his way towards the Shen, who just dashes his way out, and Goldfish Gaming are now on the back foot and having to play heavy defense here. I think they're gonna lose an inhibitor here at some point.
Yeah, they are getting shoved in here, and
shoved in indeed, as we see the Shen using the taunt onto the Ornn there. Renata flashing in, and her life will be taken. But Kai'Sa is shredding through Goldfish Gaming here, as Mozzie uses the Onslaught of Shadow to try and secure the kill onto the Kai'Sa there, but it will not be able to. Is it happening? Is it happening?
It looks like they're not going to be greedy
not
here.
Yet.
They are. Now they are pushing through. It kind of seems like they might have a little bit of a split call.
They're playing it slow though. They have 2 inhibitors. They have minions. They still have. Oh no, they don't have 2 inhibitors just yet. They're about to get the second. They have. Oh no, they're gonna. Okay, they're playing respectful. They're gonna play respectful. They're backing.
Yeah, because if they go, if they do go for the end there, they need to do it with every 5 members strong. And should they get wiped, they would likely end up losing the soul here, coming up in 55 seconds. Another chance at it for Goldfish Gaming, and they don't want to risk that, especially here in game 3 when all the marbles are on the line. So I respect that restraint. From Horizon. There's something to be said for pushing your lead when you have the moment, but you got to have the discipline to not over push.
And also, I just want to say, I just want to acknowledge what you said earlier about Kaiser Uwu on this carry mid laner, essentially, this very high burst champion mage, that his team have confidence in him to put him on another champion that could potentially carry the game, as he's been playing phenomenally well in this Vladimir, using the pool there to access the backline of Okami and Dirt and just, if not blow them up, get their health to a point where they don't feel safe getting into these team fights anymore. And this short range is really starting to become the detriment of Goldfish Gaming here and hampering their ability to play these team fights well.
It sure is, and I do have to. The game's not over. I do have to call into question, though, this Goldfish draft being so centered on the early game, because in a game 3 situation like this, this is it. There's nowhere to go from here, and it starts to get a little bit starts to get a little bit demoralizing if you're Goldfish, knowing that not only are you behind, but you're also getting outscaled, and that's just going to continue to happen. So that's never a position that you want to. That's never a position you want to be at any point. But in a game 3 where you want to continue sort of putting off the inevitable end as long as possible in hopes of winning some sort of miracle fight, you don't want to get outscaled.
Mozzie though, oh Mozzie. Oh my goodness, they get the Event Horizon. Primordial Burst comes out from dirt, but the Renata is not taken out. Ignite is burning her down. And I think that kill should be given over, yet Bailout is not able to secure her life. Adapt looks to be taken out next. He will, as the passive is just burned, and that was a bad play from Horizon.
Yeah, bad play from Horizon. Goldfish, it is just less than 30 seconds until the Baron spawns, but they do have to defend the base. They can't they can't just all rush towards it. Okami does have teleport available, so I'm interested to see if they try to posture around here and maybe try to start it. Still 25 seconds on Zac, but they just don't really have enough consistent damage to be able to threaten. But Kaiser, speaking of being under threat.
Oh, Kaiser is getting caught out here. Mozzie using the Onslaught of Shadows, Event Horizon to corral him and ensure there is no escape. Is now Desirius here. Oh my goodness, Horizon Gaming, what are you doing? Desirius though has flashed and is able to secure his life just a bit longer, but will have to burn all of his summoners here. And Goldfish Gaming taking somewhat of a position of power here in that mid lane fight, but they still have 2 inhibitors now, and supers are pushing into their base. They have to go back and secure these Nexus turrets here. Peanut might be out of position, has to flash. Dirt here to ensure his top laner gets out. Event Horizon coming down to deter the Horizon Gaming squad members. And yeah, I think they're gonna have to give this Baron over. Nope.
Has no mana.
Nope. They don't want to give it over though. We got a TP coming in from Okami. Oh my goodness, this fight right here is about to be. This fight could be the game. As we see Mozzie using the charge onto the Renata there. Adapt is in the middle of the Goldfish squad. Adapt using the Let's Bounce to... Oh, the hook lands from Light Genesis, and they secure the kill onto the Horizon Gaming jungler as Kaiser, Ornn, and Vladimir are still alive. So you have a tank, you have 2 damage dealers. What can Horizon do? They are on this Baron. Do you try and stop them, or do you just try and pick up some kills? They're probably like they want to pick up some kills. As Kaiser flashes in, gets the Tides of Blood onto the back line of Goldfish Gaming. Hook lands out from Light Genesis. Peanut gets the taunt onto Kaiser. Kaiser is shredding the side of her Goldfish Gaming here, but I don't think they're going to be able to get... Oh my, hold that thought. So Kami using the shotgun to just burst out the Kaiser and the Vladimir here, but I think his life is going to be taken as well. End of line coming out. Okami is alive. Okami gets the triple kill, and Okami will save his squad and take the Baron buff home. Oh my goodness. This game is insane.
That was absolutely ridiculous. Goldfish are squeezing water out of stones there with Mozzie. He had no mana. He didn't have smite. He didn't have his ultimate. Still able to go in and somehow survive after making the engage. And then Okami. We've been people have been talking, namely actually Mozzie, over the last week about how Okami starting to get a little bit of an ego, as this mid lane player who's been extremely dominant. But let me tell you what, you can inflate your ego as big as you want when you're making plays like he just did.
Yes, indeed. And, we were talking... I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit here, but so bear with me also. But we were talking about how Okami on this Graves, it was such a trepidatious pick that I was nervous for him, but having the Bloodthirster to ensure that heal, and that's one thing I feel like a lot of us forget about Graves is that he has so much lifesteal. He has the fleet footwork as well, so he does heal up pretty well in his kit. So it's really interesting and shocking to see, but we have ourselves a neither fight here. As Adapt uses the elastic link shot in. Mozzie gets the Onslaught of Shadows onto the back line as the Scissors is going to have to run away from his life as Kaiser Uwe is trying to kill Dirt. He will not be able to do so. Okami gets the shutdown onto Kaiser. Mozzie looks to get the kill onto Adapt here, and I think this just...
They don't have
Will
minions.
this be the game? I don't know. There are no minions available, but they will take Archon down as well as Goldfish get the ace.
Goldfish getting the ace. They're gonna forego the soul, which means they're definitely trying to push in. They at least get the inhibitor here as Okami taking up the turret. They have the Baron buff still on the minions for not very long, though. So pushing in here. I don't know. It's gonna be really, really close. Still 20 seconds.
No, those set timers. All you have is Renata alive. Kaiser and Uwu are coming up next. Adapted after that, but Goldfish, they're not stopping. Goldfish, they're not waiting. Goldfish will take game 3 and secure their spot as the first seed still. 2 games to 1. Goldfish are your victors.
Do you believe in miracles sort of moment there? I cannot believe that Goldfish managed to take that one. Flay posting the prayer, the Okami prayer in the chat. It's been spammed all series long and redacted. Yeah, wipe that sweat off your brow, my friend, because that was a marathon.
Holy crap, dude. Oh, hold on, I gotta drink some water. My throat here is like so raw.
I can legitimately say that I don't think that I've not been casting for that long. I don't know that I've ever casted a series that was as close as the one that we just had the absolute privilege of watching, and it just delivered on absolutely every single level. I mean, I'm honestly lost for words at this moment. I really have to say, you know, like, I mean, hats off to both teams. Excellent performance, but Goldfish having the mental fortitude, and we question it, right? We said they haven't been behind. How are they going to react when they finally meet a team that, you know, matches their level of mechanical skill and sort of team fight poise? And they certainly met that match tonight in Horizon Gaming, but they adapted, they overcame, and at the end of the day, it's those, you know, it's Okami and it's Mossy coming through, doing what they need to do when the team needs them the very, very most.
Absolutely, Mossy created chaos like he did, and he should have. But Peanut was the silent hero. Peanut went 9-3-11 on Shen. He has the most kills out of everybody. Actually, in terms of KDA, he probably has the best KDA. If you were to do the nitty gritty math.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Quick maths here. I don't know what that KDA is, but I think he has the best KDA on the team. So Peanut.
Okami's close, but still, I mean, point taken right on the Shen. Like on the Shen, he was also doing so much damage onto the backline later in those team fights. It was incredible to watch, really.
Incredible indeed. And this game was just, oh my goodness, this is everything I want. I remember looking at the schedule like, oh man, I can't wait for this matchup, you know? And wow, it gave us everything we wanted indeed. It did a couple of things. It ensured that Goldfish is for real. So to all the haters out there, they're for real, but they're not infallible though. We have seen that they're not immortal. So y'all can step up and definitely take it to them. It's just not going to be easy. So go ahead and download these VODs and make sure you review the tape. It did another thing as well. It also let us know that Horizon Gaming, with their jungler, their new jungler, I don't know if he's permanent. I feel like he is, but we'll have to see come the next couple of weeks. So with their new jungler Adapt, they didn't lose a step. It didn't feel like they lost a step, really. I mean, they've had some mistakes, but in terms of like their entire team cohesion, I couldn't tell whether it was Adapt or Gregorio. Like, they looked just the same. Like, it didn't look like they were adjusting to a new jungler on their squad. That's what I'm trying to say. So, definitely it also cements Horizon Gaming is the second best team in this Thursday league here, and they also are not to be disrespected or trifled with. So to the teams below them, these are your two best teams in the league, and they will have their pound of flesh and be respected.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, I like what that you say that Horizon kind of still cements themselves, because even though they lost, They were so incredibly competitive. I mean, this is one of those series where you could really have flipped a coin at the end
Yeah.
of the day to decide who wins. We had so many of these plays that were just so incredibly close and easily could have gone the other way with just one or two different clicks. So just amazing to watch. And I think in a second here, I think probably we'll have to cut to, I don't know if we need to cut
Yeah.
to a break or not, but we're gonna have, I'll give it to you. That's your job. You're the play-by-play. All right, we're gonna go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. If you have nothing else to say right now, we're gonna definitely cut to a short break as we're going to have an interview with
Dirt
Mozzie, I believe.
212. Dirt
Oh, Dirt,
212.
we're gonna have an interview with Dirt212, the bot laner of Goldfish Gaming. But we're gonna set that up here, so we're just gonna take a short break. But stay tuned for that interview. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Dirt212, the bot laner for Goldfish Gaming. Dirt, what a series, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. I think we all knew this one was going to be a banger. The two
Mm-hmm.
top Thursday teams coming up. Goldfish. People think we're unproven, but I think we showed tonight that we can adapt, and we're on the table for that championship.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I,
Oh,
I want
go
to
ahead,
jump
Esla,
in.
go ahead.
I just want to jump in, right away. Earlier this week, I was talking to your jungler Mossy Dirt, and he was just, definitely shouting you out, talking about how great of a player you are, specifically for competitive play, because of the way that kind of you conform to the needs of the team, sort of with your champion pool. And I'm wondering if you can just talk about that a little bit, and tell us about sort of your approach to the game in competitive versus when you're playing it just for fun on your own.
So when I'm playing solo queue, I'm a complete griefer. I kind of never try because it just pisses me off. But when I'm in competitive, I'm only focused on the win. I'll kind of do whatever it takes. So if that means weak side playing Vygar every single game or Ziggs, obviously if it's not banned, that's just what I'm gonna have to do to win.
Yeah, and to follow up on that a little bit, Ziggs banned out. I know you took the Ezreal in game one and ended up kind of pivoting away from that for game two and three on the Vigar. This is not something that you played so far this season. You did fall a little bit behind in CS and lane, and I'm wondering, like, kind of what's your level of comfort on this champion? You feel like you're able to play it up to the same standard as your other picks, or kind of what your thoughts are on that.
I've honestly that's like my third Vigar game in the past 6 months. The other one was in a scrim. I kind of just play random shit in solo queue, and then when it comes down to the games, I can play just about any AP mage. So it's just whatever we need in the situation. They're all pretty similar, so I can adapt to that.
That's good to know. That's good to know and adapt definitely indeed. As what was the team atmosphere like after that game one loss? Because I know a lot of people thought that I won't say a lot of people. We didn't know what to expect. Some of us thought it might be a 2-0 because you guys have been on a tear lately. 2-0ing all your other series previously before this.
Mhm.
And then Horizon looked kind of sus because of that loss to Sensei Squad. So people weren't sure about what to expect with them. And then with their new jungler sub, we don't know what the situation is with them with that jungler situation coming in. It looked like it might have been a 2-0 victory for you all, but when you lost game one, that completely flipped the script, changed everything, and then it was like, okay, this is for real. So, what was that like for you all when you lost game one, and what was the team atmosphere, and how'd you go all recuperate?
All right, so I will say obviously in game we're all pretty tilted. We're getting beat down, first
Mhm.
loss of the season. But as soon as we are out of game, we stood up like adults and we talked about it. We learned so much from that game, and we kind of had it figured out what they wanted to do. And then the only next step was to figure out our bans, our draft, and how we wanted to play game two and three. And then we delivered and got the win.
Yeah, so you talked about kind of coming out of the game and, specifically kind of maybe making some alterations to your draft. And I know something else that's been big for your team is the introduction of a little bit more influence of coaches. I know you were here last split as well, but, Mossy has talked a lot to me about how with P, he's the drafting coach, right? Or
Yes,
works with
yeah.
the drafting at least, has been really big for that. So, what is that like for you kind of as a player or as a teammate being able to take your hands off and during those drafting times or, and kind of what does the coaching bring to the team?
It makes it really easy because then all it puts us at is we just have to play the game. And uh, although Withby doesn't really play solo queue on his own, he understands drafting way better than all of us on the team, I would say. And that's no disrespect to any of us. He just that's his niche, that's where he excels in League of Legends, and it just helps us out so much. I thank him for that.
Dirt, I have to ask. We have it's starting to creep back in, at least in amateur play, I would say. But tank meta is slowly creeping its way into these games here. So is it something that you all realize, or is it something that because like Goldfish started drafting some tanks, you're like, okay, we need some tanky members too.
So you said we started drafting some tanks.
No, I said due to like Goldfish in their draft, they started they and especially in game one, they drafted Trundle and Poppy, and then you all countered with the
No,
Cho'Gath.
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Am I?
yeah, yeah.
Is that the
I
wrong
think you got it
side?
backwards. Yeah.
As Horizon
Yeah.
started to like, do you feel like they're responding with the tank picks because like tanks are really strong right now, or do you feel like it's almost kind of peanut influencing the meta
I think
in CCS?
that might be a similar situation to our team. Is we always have Peanut, on a tank. He can play weak side. He can carry with gold. But I mean, if teams are going to try to play around Okami, they kind of have to put that top side on a tank, make it weak. But Okami's going to Smurf 1v9 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to think what else. I don't think tanks are super scary for us because Okami has so many of those different champions he can play into them. I won't give away too much, but I don't think we're too worried about the tank meta.
Okami or Peanut or
Peanut
both?
Peanut has a bunch of champs to play into tanks, obviously, because he's a tank player himself. And
Yeah.
Okami's got plenty of champs to deal with tanks.
Okay, good to
So I
know.
mean, both of them are well prepared.
All right. You know what? I just realized, Elsa, we never talked about the Singed game. So can we talk about that a little bit? Because one, I know we kind of went crazy. You and Okami there were, and Mozzie honestly were doing so much damage and creating so much havoc in that game. But Peanut on the Singe there, getting the glue down and the flips, enabling you to get the event horizons to CC everyone else with that was just a nasty combo that y'all had with the thresh and everything. So what was the what made you realize that okay, they didn't ban Singe, so let's pick it here and let's work around with it?
I believe. Let me pull up the draft real quick. I think so. We picked Singe because he's blind safe into their other champions. I believe it's Fiora and something else. I forgot what the other champ they played, but Singe is good into Fiora, and he's generally blind safe. The action is actually a pretty hard counter, and Peanut just smurfed it somehow and won
Yeah.
that lane. Which he's not supposed to do that, but Peanut's crazy, so of course he wins those. Didn't see that coming, but yeah, it's
Ah,
it's kind of
man.
it's kind of shaping up to one of his little pocket picks. The Singe, we can just put him on there. The Poppy, he's always gonna perform.
Do you think it's gonna warrant a ban now? Whenever teams are scouting against you and drafting against y'all, do you think it's always gonna warrant a ban?
I mean, to be honest, there's only so much you can ban versus
Yeah.
Goldfish. You got to ban Mundo, you got to ban Ziggs, you got to ban Zeri. You can't add many more champions to the list. You only get
Hmm.
5 a game.
True that. True that indeed.
All right. Well, I definitely Dirt, I definitely want to let you, get back to your team here pretty soon, and let the celebrations continue. But I do have one other question. I've talked about it before, but I know that you're a Draven main and solo queue. You said you just screw around in solo queue, but you can't lie about your OP.GG. We've all seen it, and are
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are they ever gonna let you pick? Are they ever gonna actually let you pick Draven?
No, because that's just not how we play as a team, and that defeats our whole purpose of what we're trying to do. So it's not good for us. So no, and I'm okay with that as long as we win.
All right, makes
All
sense.
right.
I'm glad that you're able to recognize that for sure.
I
Listen,
got one. Oh, go ahead, Elsa. Sorry,
no,
I
you
thought you were
go.
done. I was gonna say I got one last question before we let him go. I have to talk about the Graves pick because I was very nervous for you all in that game, and we need to talk about Game 3 just a little bit before you go because I'm sure everyone wants to know what the hell were comms like in that flip flop roller coaster ride of a game. So like, why did you all pick Graves? I mean, into the Vladimir, and you already had the Vigar on B3. So, I mean, we knew the Hecarim, Thresh, and Shen kind of go in, but two short range champions behind them, you don't have much access to the Horizon Gaming squad members as easily. So, can you run me through the thought process of draft and like how you all felt in that game as it ebbed and flowed?
Well, obviously we had no well we had Hecarim, but that's
Yeah.
not entirely enough AD. And we've been since Yon has been banned. We've been practicing a lot of AD mid laners, and it's just something that we thought could match well on the side lane, be takey enough to survive the Zac ganks, and also dish out a lot of damage. And
Yeah, Yasuo was open though. I don't know. Does Okami play that, or did y'all even consider it, or did you man, possibly even forgot about it? So I was just
if
wondering about that
if we're
too.
gonna pick Yasuo, we're gonna draft around it a lot more than we did this
Okay,
game. So
understood.
that's the reason.
And yeah, what were comms like? What was the team atmosphere like as that game ebbed and flowed? Because I mean, I believe Elsa, correct me if I'm wrong. You all, which fight did you lose? And then I think Horizon got Baron, and
There
and
was a lot of
then
fights.
yeah,
Yeah, what Okami, what you're talking about, Okami was 1v2 on the Baron
Yeah,
Pit.
yeah.
Yeah. So throughout the whole game, I think our comms were great. We were super controlled, what's next play. But during that Baron fight, everybody was just yelling, and then Okami comes out of it with the win, and we're so hyped, and I don't know, we couldn't lose from that point on. We were just too locked in. But yeah, big shout out to Okami, big shout out to Pina, Mozzie, Greg, everybody played so well.
And
I
don't
don't
forget about Lights Genesis as well.
yeah. I
yeah,
think that's Greg. Is that
yeah,
Greg?
that's
Oh,
Greg.
sorry,
That's
might
Greg.
be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
I
of a
mean,
different Greg, especially in the context of
Semi
this series.
yeah,
So
semi
yeah.
yeah.
doxing him. Semi doxing him. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean that's another champ you got to ban, You give us Thresh 3 games in a row and look what happens. But Yeah. I guess while we're on the topic of Greg, I want to shout out Horizon for benching your best player before the most important game of the season. Uh, you know, I think it one, it wasn't a smart move, and two, that's a really crappy thing to do to do somebody, right before your most important game, and I think he deserves a lot better than that. And so, shout out Greg. He's a really good jungler. He's looking for a team. Somebody should definitely pick him up.
Wait, what?
All
He's
right, we
looking
got
for a team?
shots
He's looking for a
fired.
team. Yep.
Shots
Did
fired
you
in
say
the
he's looking
interview.
for a team? So he's a
Yeah.
free agent? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's way better than whatever this trash they had in jungle today was. So,
All right, you heard it here first.
Well,
Definitely.
hey, to any teams in the CCS that are looking for a jungler, Gregorio, his DMs are open. Grinchy Guns, I know y'all are trying to make a run, so hit him up. No diss to dang, I even forgot his name. I'm sorry, but
Adapt.
you know, yeah, no diss to Adapt. But hey, you heard it here first from Dirt, man, and you just want to say thank you for the fantastic series. That was great.
Mhm.
Thank you for the interview. And oh, one last question. I'm sorry. How are you feeling about Team Death Realm next week?
Team Death Realm. I think
Yeah,
we're
because
brain off.
Matt's in the chat.
Yeah, I think
Matt's
we're
talking
brain off the
shit.
rest of the season. Expect some fun picks from us. So
Hmm.
we'll make it exciting. I'll tell you that.
Do we think are y'all gonna be back on y'all 2-0 streak? 2-0 every team?
Definitely with some style as well. So be looking forward to that. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Oh man, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Elsa, you got anything else before we let Dirk go back to get back to his team?
Oh, that's about it. I'm ready to take a rest after that one.
Yeah, me too. My throat's gonna need a rest. I might go make some tea. But Dirk, we want to thank you once again for just coming out and talking with us tonight. We appreciate it, and we hope you have a great rest of your night and prepare hard and well for your next couple of series you have coming up here.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that being said, everyone, we're gonna go ahead and wind down for the night here as we are definitely tired and a bit, fatigued from this banger of a series. It was great, but stay tuned as we have more games on the way next week as our Thursday squad is heading into week 7 and we'll have plenty of matches and plenty of action for you. But thank you all for the night and thank you all for the viewership. We'll see you soon.